All right, hi, good morning, everybody. It's the Brock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, all the podcast platforms. Actually, I have a couple podcast reviews maybe I'll read to you here this morning, not to mention YouTube and 97.3 HD2 if you like that crystal clear high-def radio and you're driving around Seattle. And maybe you're stuck in traffic because they're continuing to keep lanes shut down on I-5. Sully is in the other room. What the heck is going on with that? I got to find out. Please.
Wait, traffic exists in Seattle?
Well, it does when you do construction and shut down 2 lanes of I-5 right on the bridge. My God, it's driving me crazy.
You also made fun of Brock for complaining about construction going on around here.
Well,
too.
I know it's got to happen, but I wanted to, let's move it along here, huh? Let's. Just yesterday was rough.
I agree.
All right, let's see. I got a few different things. You want a podcast review or two? One I missed
Always.
from a while ago. Now these are all Apple Podcast reviews. So if you listen to the show later on Apple Podcast, you can leave a nice review. And we just ask for 5 stars, and you can say something mean because we're hoping to one day get to 4.7. We've been really stuck at 4.6 forever. This one says Android. My husband has an Android, so he asked me to leave this 5-star review for you on Apple, even though I have no idea what this is. It's kind of funny. He says he's a P1 from day one, as Brock would say, and which is better, Apple or Android? Android, of course. The addition of streaming on YouTube has been great. 5 stars always. Bring on the 4.7. Well, thank you for that. As for the whole Android thing, man, I tried. I told you guys that I was having phone issues, and then I definitely complicated them or exacerbated them by swimming with my phone in my pocket. And so I ended up having to get a new phone, which is fine. And I really did think long and hard about the Android. And all my friends were just so mad. Like, it basically feels like the Android phone is superior for the user and more of a pain in the butt for all of the user's associates.
You just get bullied into the iPhone. Like when I had an Android for a long time, everyone was like, you're making the group chat green or whatever.
But like, other than that, there doesn't seem to be any downside. They seem like they're cheaper and better and like everything else. But I want to be a good teammate to my friends, so I didn't do it, and I got myself an iPhone 16, and here we go. That's just kind of where we're at. Put in Tui, 5-star review. Put in Tui. Just kidding, Brock. I love listening to you guys on my way to work every morning. Thank you for that. And then Lyle, just taking more abuse. You're a very polarizing figure, Lyle. Remember we got that one that said 1 star until Lyle is let go? That came in like July 9th. Amazing show that Lyle is ruining. Worst personality in radio history, which is not true. I mean, that's just not true.
Wait.
Objectively.
I think you read that one already.
I know. I said that was an old one. Yeah, no, that can't be true. I mean, you haven't attacked any of the sacred cows of Seattle sports. I mean, like, there's a lot of things you could do to be, find the nicest people you can in sports media and be mean to them. Like, I don't know about that. But then this one came in just a couple days ago, and I don't think I've read this one yet. Churchill and Shannon. 5-star review. Best 2 hours of 2025. No loudmouth Lyle to have to listen to. God, just want to, well, I'm not going to read that, but driving to work, just miserable driving to work, hearing him speak. Maura is an angel. Great show, kinda. What have you done to some of these people?
Ask them.
I wish. I don't have
Must
the
be an anti-Bregman coming here guy.
Oh, that must be it. I can't communicate with Fez Pie or the Fat Man, who are a couple of the people that are very upset with Lyle. I am worried that everyone's a little sleepy today, maybe myself included. We got very few texts last night or early this morning on the text line. I'm going to guess it's because last night's game was so boring and so just sleepy that the rest of us are all just kind of still asleep from it. That was a low point Mariner game for me. I know that other people got really upset after the Yankee loss because they gave it up, and that sucked. I'm not going to lie. But last night, as you were on the precipice of the trade deadline and trying to determine just how far you should go, how much you should give up, how much you should bet on the team in front of you. They laid a massive egg last night. Now, you had a chance one game, doesn't mean anything. You come right back tonight, but like you're just kind of waiting for this team to show you, to give you that reason to go off and say, yes, all right, let's go. You know what? It is worth it to trade Harry Ford for Geno Suarez. It is worth it to trade somebody for, big-time reliever at the back end of this pen. And it's helpful that all of the teams around you kind of stink. Texas isn't that good. Houston's not that good. Boston's flawed, right? You're playing the Cleveland and Kansas City a minute. Like, we've seen all these teams. They're just not that good. So there's this league around you that is giving you the opportunity, and you're just waiting for your team to take it. And so I actually found last night to be more of a low point for me. And I know it doesn't come at the end of two bad games. The Yankees game came and it made it a sweep. And this is just one loss, 2 in a row, whatever. It's not a big deal. So I'm not trying to overreact to last night's game. But it was, I thought, kind of a bummer to just see them sleepwalk through that one. And it started off great, right? And Logan Evans he looked unbelievable in the first few innings. Fell apart there, and the offense just could not generate anything again. Now, I know Luis Severino's been a good pitcher, but not this year. He's had all kinds of problems this year. He's been a mess. He got a 5 ERA, and the beginning of the game, he couldn't find the plate. I don't think he threw a single pitch in the strike zone in the first inning. Julio swung at 3 pitches outside the zone. Cal had some dude, he couldn't throw a strike to save his life. He's falling down. What the hell is going on with him? That was bizarre. And unfortunately, team just sort of sleepwalks through it. And so I'm sure Jeff, Jerry and Justin are watching that game, and I'm sure it doesn't affect them because they know to take a broader view of the Mariners, of the season. And I'm sure that last night doesn't affect them in any way, which is why they're, major league GMs and presidents. And I'm sitting here on the radio having to wake up at 4:30 and yawn with Lyle. But I would be tempted after watching that, just be like, I just don't know if I can do it. Where's the consistency? Where is that opportunity? Where is taking advantage? And it's just one game. So again, I'm not freaking out about yesterday. It's just the win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2, up again, down again. It's just you probably didn't see Frozen 2, I'm going to guess. That's
no.
not a big reference for sports radio at 6:08 in the morning here. But there's one of the songs in Frozen 2 is Show Yourself. It's hey, Mariners, show yourself. Who are you? Show yourself. Show us what you want, what you could be. We saw it for a little while in April. We saw it for a little while in June. But show yourself. Show that you're the team that everyone wants to invest in, that we can all get excited about. Because it's close, and you look at the lineup, and you're like, okay, I see it. And you look at the pitching staff, and obviously you know that they've got the pedigree and the history behind them. And you've got some serious dudes at the back of the pen. And it's just waiting for that one, I don't know, that thing to click in. Last night just kind of frustrated me. I was reading through some thoughts that both Buster and Passan had this morning on the deadline, which now is 2 days, not even, it's tomorrow. Buster says the Mariners are going to do something for their pen, plus some rival execs still view them as the favorite to land a Eugenio Suarez. I mean, it makes sense. They certainly have the capital to do it if they want. And that's kind of what Jeff says in the same piece. He says the Mariners are the trade deadline wild card. They've got a cadre of top 100 caliber prospects, 8 in all. And the question they'll ask themselves is, are we comfortable moving someone like Harry Ford for a rental, like Geno? To this point, the answer has been no, but weird things happen in the final 40 hours. And a team really going for it, the Mariners want a bullpen arm too, is far from the worst thing, particularly when said team has never even made the World Series. Show yourself. Show yourself. I can't sing it. I'm, not a singer. You can find the song if you want. But show yourself. Just show us that you're that team that is worth that. And in the last, we got one more game before the deadline tonight. Go win this series. Go be above 500 on this road trip. Right? To Anaheim and Sacramento. Two teams that are eminently beatable at this point in the season. So we'll see. We'll see where they go. Salk, swimming with the phone, was that in Vegas? And was alcohol involved? Yes, it was in Vegas. No, it was pre-alcohol. Well, it was a little alcohol, but pre-alcohol. It was more being up all night at the airport, I think, that led to that one. Yeah. Not a bright move.
You know what? It came to me now right at the end of this segment about the Apple Podcast review.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that person doesn't like how much I hate bunting. I'm going to guess that's
You think it's a bunting thing?
I'm going to guess. Like, if he's that mad about something I'm saying, he's probably mad that I die on the hill of hating bunting.
I would think somebody that hates bunting, though, doesn't listen on podcast or leave a review. Like, I think that's a person who's old enough, like somebody who loves bunting is probably old enough that they're listening on AM radio.
Well, I was thinking about it as a segment went along, and I think there's a few options here.
Oh, good. Maura's going to
Maura's got plenty of reasons why someone might hate Lyle.
What I'm saying is I think you should blame Brock, Lyle, because when Salk was out, he played instigator, and he really riled you up and told you that you should give Lyle's lectures to the listeners. And I think that may have backfired on you.
No, that's a good point.
I mean, that's what Brock does.
That's a good point. I did go in about Alex Bregman.
Well, you were right about that, though. Alex Bregman's really
There was
good.
a couple of Lyle's
If the Mariners had a chance to, they don't now, obviously, but if they did, of course you'd take Alex Bregman. That'd be awesome. All right, deadline tomorrow, a lot more conversation today. Shannon will join us. Abe Lucas is going to join us at 7:30 this morning. That's cool. We'll talk to Big Abe. And then actually it looks like Albert Breer is going to be in studio for the 9 o'clock hour. So he's in for the Seahawks practice today.
Get the dump button ready, Lyle.
I know, seriously. I mean, I don't know what he was doing last night, but sometimes you got to be a little careful with Bert. So he'll come in at 9 o'clock. We'll come back here with everything you need to know next.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Bump letting you know the Employee Pricing Plus event is on at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The 2025 Ram 2500 is a beast with class-leading torque and towing. But don't sleep on the new grille, LED lights, and tech upgrades. On sale now for $9,000 off MSRP. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends July 31st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Man, look at that Return of the Old King, man.
Oh, wow. Emotional.
King of the Hill is back.
They got a Bob's in the airport now. Oh, that's Boba.
World has changed, Dad.
Bobby wants to bring that new girl over for dinner.
The Vegas? What the hell am I supposed to feed her?
Can't we just put some grass in a bowl?
From Mike Judge and Greg Daniels.
Ready to make some memories, Dad?
Let's freaking go.
A Hulu original series, King of the Hill. Season premiere August 4th, streaming on Hulu.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water, but you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. It's the final days of the warehouse clearance sale with savings up to 25% on brand new 2024 heat pumps and ACs while supplies last. And PSC customers, listen up. Add AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. That's over $2,000 in savings. For heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, trust Home Comfort Alliance. Go to homecomfortalliance.com and tell them John Curley sent you.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, everything did start great for the Mariners last night. Logan Evans was very sharp early. Luis Severino could not throw strikes to save his life. And then everything changed fairly rapidly as well. Evans all of a sudden just pounded for 6 runs.
He deals 1-2. Swung on. That is blasted left field. If it's fair, it is gone, and it is gone. Long blast by Brent Rooker, the All-Star, a 3-run home run. And with one swing, the A's have a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and then Shea Langoliers added one. Severino, meanwhile, settled down. And so, yeah, Mariners lose 6-1 in a game that honestly was among the quieter, more lifeless ones we've seen this season. The offense continues to just have its crazy ups and downs.
I mean, I think, again, tonight, we did create a lot of traffic. We had runners on. We were having some good at-bats. We took some walks. We had some singles. Able to get a lot of runners on. We hit some balls hard, like I said, in those situations, but just coming up short. And, sometimes you can't control some of that, but we're getting the traffic we need, and now it's just a matter of getting them in.
Yeah, I mean, kind of an old story that we've heard before. Astros win, so they snap their losing streak. They get back to 4 games up on the Mariners. Red Sox win, Rangers lose, so Mariners now back in that 3rd wild card spot, still a game up on Texas. Rubber match tonight. Brian Wu, Jeffrey Springs, and an opportunity to have a winning rather than losing road trip.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Trade deadline tomorrow. Mariners still have work to do. Before they even get there, though, they're going to have to make a roster move today. Luke Raley sidelined by back stiffness. That's a huge bummer. Explains why he hasn't played here in, close to a week. Tyler Locklear has been red hot for Tacoma. He's going to take his spot on the roster. As for the trade market, remains very quiet. Sellers asking for the world. Buyers just trying to wait them out. Mariners, we know what their priorities are. Strengthening the pen would be number one. Plenty of options out there right now. Twins, we've talked about Griffin Jax or Joan Duran, Danny Colon, Blake Stewart. I mean, they are almost the bells of the ball. Rockies, yeah, Daniel Kramer says they've been checking in on Jake Bird, Seth Halverson, or Juan Mejia, all of whom have been scouted, but none of whom are great, right? I mean, like, all those guys are okay. Jake Bird's a good strikeout guy, and Halverson's a closer in theory. I'm not sure I see the Mejia one, but okay. Yeah, I mean, like, they still have work to do, and it's going to be a busy 24 hours or so.
Last year, the last 2 days were particularly busy, but I'm not sure that there are going to be any huge names that go. It's going to be really interesting to see where Suarez winds up. The acute need in Chicago isn't quite as much, with Matt Shaw hitting 4 home runs over his last 9 games and looking more potentially like an everyday solution. I haven't gotten the sense that Cincinnati is going to be in huge there. Detroit maybe, Philadelphia maybe, but I also don't think that the Mariners are going to give up one of their top prospects for a rental bat, regardless of how good Eugenio Suarez actually is. So it's going to be interesting to see from the Mariners' perspective, can they thread that needle with Suarez, or are they going to devote their attention more to trying to pick up guys around the margins?
It's a very fair question, and again, was really hoping that last night they kind of just show you something like, hey, come on, we're making our push, you go make yours, and it just kind of didn't go that way last night.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
I know Moore thinks it's my fault, but we did at least say yesterday we thought this would happen. The Seahawks offense did get their revenge after a rough day on Monday. Yesterday they were really good, and even better, it looks like it was Sam Darnold who really led the way. Touchdown to A.J. Barner, really nice deep play to Jackson Smith and Jigba. So that's got to feel good for the entire offense, and specifically for the quarterback. I liked listening to Gray Zabel yesterday. He spoke at the podium afterwards, and he recognized that there will be days where the defense is better.
There's going to be days where the D-line's kind of getting off the ball a little bit quicker and stuff, and you have to learn from that. And I think if we're going to hang our hat on being physical and running the ball, we have to show up every single day. Right now, I mean, Jack said it perfectly. We're process-driven. We're not result-driven. It's going to be a roller coaster up and down some days and stuff, and you just want to have that trend going linear in a positive direction. So that's something where if a head coach is saying that, like, we really kind of need to look in the mirror and kind of figure out how we kind of can get the horses turned in the right direction and run the ball north.
Well, I guess they did that a lot better yesterday, so good news. That is everything you need to know.
Apparently, things also were a little chippier.
Oh, yeah.
E-Man Worry and Arroyo locked up and had to be separated.
And we heard yesterday,
went to the wrong
right?
practice.
Didn't even Worry say that they've been talking some trash together, right? Like that he talks to him a little bit. So, yeah, that's probably good. Like maybe we got a little preview of that in our morning interview, and then he went out there and they got after each other a little bit. I'm into that.
I know he said he'd been talking to Milrow. I didn't know if it was Arroyo, but
I think he said both.
Everyone.
I think he said both.
He definitely made it clear that he just likes trash talking in general.
Yeah, which is good. Dude, I thought that interview was fun. That was definitely fun. If you missed that one, you'll have to go find it on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube or something like that. Jeff Passan, 24 hours now before the deadline. We have some Jeff for you here next. I do and would like the Mariners to just sort of pick a lane. Elsa belting it out. More likes when I send her on chases to go find things like music from Frozen 2.
I'll always roll in sound. I just didn't want to listen to music from Frozen 2.
Frozen 2 was good. Talk about threading a needle. They had a tough challenge after the success of the first one, and I thought it was a decent movie. All right. Mariners have yet to truly show themselves, but the deadline's coming either way. What should they do? What will they do? What's out there? What's the market like? Jeff Passan next on Brock and Salk.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
I'll start with the biggest storyline. I mean, it's Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Sam. When you get into training camp, this is when you really make this thing yours. And I compared it to like religion. Like, you just got to have faith, dog. Like, that's the only way. You can feel it sometimes, depending on what you believe in. You can see it sometimes, but you don't really know. You got to have faith.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have that new car you've been looking for. With the power of choice, drive the sleek hybrid Camry, leasing as low as $299 a month, the dependable Corolla, or the electric Prius, leasing at just $309 a month. If you're headed to the ballpark or cruising I-5 from the north or the south, visit Toyota of Renton or Kirkland or shop online at toyotaofrenton.com and toyotaofkirkland.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at seahawks.com/pro shop.
12's Seahawks training camp, powered by Boeing, is underway at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Join us lakeside for a first look at your 2025 Seahawks as they put in work and gear up for a milestone 50th season. Only a few open practice remain, and they're filling up fast. Register now at seahawks.com/training camp.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Dive into the Marvel Universe on the official Marvel Podcast. We're going behind the scenes with the creators behind Marvel Comics, the stars of the MCU, and Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige.
But if you want the real answer, if we're trying to get real on this podcast,
celebrate the legacy of your favorite Marvel adventures and characters. The official Marvel Podcast.
I think this show's going to be a real treat.
New episodes every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at winning 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks host the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 30th through August 4th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
10-time MLB All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove Award winner, MLB single-season hit leader, a one-of-a-kind player.
And there it is. He's a new all-time hit king in Major number 258.
Head to T-Mobile Park in August as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities kick off with a 3-day Ichiro Hall of Fame Funko Pop giveaway Tuesday, August 5th through Thursday, August 7th. On Friday, August 8th, arrive early to score a 2004 Ichiro jersey like the one he wore when he broke the MLB single-season hit record. Saturday, August 9th will feature Ichiro's pregame number retirement ceremony, and the first 20,000 fans on Sunday the 10th will take home a replica of his Cooperstown plaque. It's going to be legendary.
Oh, that front end is thrown by Ichiro. He threw something out of Star Wars.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Not going to lie, it's pretty cool to have the leading voice in baseball reporting on the show just 2 days before the baseball trade deadline. Jeff Passan of ESPN with his weekly appearance. Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you?
Gentlemen, how are you? I'm walking out to the pond by which I do this this bit every year.
The ESPN Bristol Walden Pond experience with Jeff Passan.
What did you make fun of him last year? You made fun of him for some reason last year. Because he was
You
so...
did. You were at Bird last year. I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You were stressed and Salk
You were
just...
like Ralph Waldo Emersoning out there, and I was making fun of you.
Yeah. Oh, you're stressed. Oh, it's so stressful to get the job.
Oh, that's right, because Jeff was complaining that he had the best job in the universe during the trade deadline.
First off, was not complaining. You asked a question about how I was feeling. I told an honest answer, and instead of being an empathetic friend, you decided to turn it on me and go full like Salk heel. And you never know when this is coming.
That's true.
You never know when it's going to
Jeff,
happen.
I believe you threatened to block him so he wouldn't get breaking news in the MLB, and he told you he would get it from Bob Nightingale.
I'm going to get it from Ken Rosenthal. He came up with the report that Dylan Moore might be made available by the Mariners after going 2 for 54, and he legitimately put that in an article. Sorry.
I mean, but it's true, right?
He's available in that he's going to get DFA'd in 2 days, but like available? I don't know. That one kind of cracked me up. Let's get to reality, Jeff. Let's start with Josh Naylor. We haven't had a chance to talk to you since the Mariners made the deal. He's a fascinating player to watch, even in just 4 or 5 days. He hits home runs and then looks at it with disgust. I mean, like, this guy's fascinating. I love him.
I love the attitude, and it will piss opponents off, right? Like they do not like Josh. Josh Naylor is like the classic. You love him when he's your teammate. You might not when he's not. And I like adding a little bit of attitude to this team. I'm not saying like the Mariners are too nice or anything, but just in playoff baseball especially, you need edge. And having a guy in the lineup who he just fits everything so perfectly, fit a position of need at first base, added another guy who has really good bat-to-ball skills, has some pop in the middle of the lineup. You look at the Mariners lineup right now, guys, like I know they want to add Gino Suarez, and if they can do that, it would be great. I'm kind of comfortable with where this lineup is at this point. Like, if I'm the Mariners, even if they don't get Suarez, I feel pretty good about it, right?
Yeah, there's still probably some cleanup work. I think you're right. The day-to-day starting lineup is professional grade. I think it's the bench bats of Dylan Moore, who really is just unfortunate. And I like Dylan, but he's just mired in just one of the worst slumps you've ever seen. 2 for 54 with a 50+% strikeout rate during that time. Yeah. And then, what we've seen this year from Donovan Solano, like there's still just some work to be done around the edges of the roster offensively. But I agree with you. I mean, when you see that starting lineup, it's a pretty good lineup right now, and it's gotten a whole lot deeper with the addition of Naylor.
Yeah, and Randy Arozarena's been awesome this year. Like he's been really, really good. That was a good addition. And I know you gave up Aiden Smith and Brody Hopkins, but that's the price for a player of Arozarena's caliber, and he has been not consistently solid, but we've seen like him go on Jags when he gets hot. It's awesome. Seeing Julio hit for power the way he has over the last week, and then you add Cal Raleigh, and J.P. Crawford has been so incredibly steady at the top of the lineup. It's just, I think they're getting, if not the best version of their offense that they can, pretty close to it at this point. And, man, if they get, I think after I was on last week, Logan Gilbert went out and absolutely shoved, and then we saw 4 innings in his last start that looked like classic Logan Gilbert, and it was a little rough after that. But if they get the pitching, and if they get just another arm, maybe 2 out of the bullpen to solidify it, this is a good team. This is a team that can win the American League, and I say that more because the American League is just kind of than the fact that the Mariners are great. But, hey, you play the hand that you're dealt, and every team in the American League right now has been dealt a hand where nobody else is that much better than them that they have no excuse not to go for it at this point.
So as we're circling the pond, what is the market doing 48 hours before the deadline?
It is slow go at this point. I just got off the phone with the GM, and it's like, is anything going to happen? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I think so. Deadlines spur action. We know that. And last year, the last 2 days were particularly busy. But I'm not sure that there are going to be any huge names that go. It's going to be really interesting to see where Suarez winds up. The acute need in Chicago isn't quite as much, with Matt Shaw hitting 4 home runs over his last 9 games and looking more potentially like an everyday solution. I haven't gotten the sense that Cincinnati is going to be in huge there. Detroit maybe, Philadelphia maybe, but I also don't think that the Mariners are going to give up one of their top prospects for a rental bat, regardless of how good Eugenio Suarez actually is. So it's going to be interesting to see from the Mariners' perspective, can they thread that needle with Suarez, or are they going to devote their attention more to trying to pick up guys around the margins? I don't think that they're going to be the high bidder necessarily on any of the top relief arms with multiple years of control. Like going out and getting Griffin Jacks would be awesome, or getting Joan Duran would be fantastic. But are they going to be willing to offer up 2 top 100 prospects for that guy? No, they're not. And so if that is the threshold and the standard, and Minnesota's sticking firm to that, then that's not going to happen.
Why not? Why not? I'll speak for the Mariners fans, and I'm sure screaming right now. Well, why not? Why, if not now, when? And you've got a plethora of prospects.
If not now, when? Next year, or the year after, or the year after that? Can I throw something out there that I think is important and that is not really being considered? And frankly, I'm guilty of this. I was not considering this either until recent days. After this year, Griffin Jacks has 2 years of club control remaining. The 2026 season is going to be great, and he would be an incredible bridge alongside Matt Brash to Andres Munoz, or if Munoz has pitched too much, he would be a guy who is a perfect candidate to close. What about 2027, when there might not be a season? Don't you have to factor that in, guys, when you're considering the price that you're willing to pay for a guy who has 2 years of club control? And now, I'm not sitting here and saying that there isn't going to be a 2027 season. Frankly, I think there's too much to lose for both the players and the league to shoot themselves in the foot that way. But last week, one of the biggest stars in Major League Baseball got in the face of the commissioner and said, if you want to talk about a salary cap, you can get the bleep out of our clubhouse. And there are a lot of Major League Baseball owners right now who not only want to talk about a salary cap, but want that to be the hill that they're willing to die on. So you're telling me that the 2027 season isn't in jeopardy? I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to stir up any controversy here. I'm simply trying to say that when you're looking at acquiring a guy who has 2 years of control beyond this year, you have to bake in the fact that one of those years, or at least a portion of one of those years, could potentially be lost. And that's part of the calculus in this situation. So why, Brock, wouldn't I give up 2 top 100 prospects? That's part of the reason. But beyond that, because the way that this organization is going to be sustained over the long haul is by having young players who can complement the ones that are there right now. And if I'm going to give up capital in the form of prospects, I just don't want to do it for a guy who pitches only 1 inning at a time. That's me personally, my philosophy. If we're talking about an everyday player, if we're talking about a starting pitcher, I feel like it's different. But for a relief pitcher, man, that I know they're important in October, but man, that is a high price to pay.
Well, Jeff, you're speaking my language. I mean, you and I have been talking about this impending lockout thing for a while, and I've been of the belief for at least a year now that there is going to be a lockout, that it is going to be a major hill that the owners are going to die on because everything in baseball was built off an RSN economic model that no longer exists, and the prices have gone up and up and up for the players. And I do think there's going
that though, Mike, that's the confusing part of this whole thing for me, right? Because the television rights, Rob Manfred's aiming to do a full, all-in, everything included national package for the 2028 season. And we all know what the television ratings looked like after the strike in 1994 killed the World Series. Yep. They cratered the next year. So you're telling me that they are willing to sit out potentially the 2027 season and have the ratings in the year before they negotiate that deal reflect that?
I hope you're right, Jeff, and that's the thing that ends up salvaging it so it doesn't go down that road. But I was pretty, when I saw your report on Bryce Harper yelling at Rob Manfred like that and cursing at him, which, by the way, wow.
And then Manfred cursing right back at him, correct?
Yep.
I mean, he didn't just...
Came right back at him.
Yeah.
What did he say back?
There was an F-bomb in there, too.
Wow. I missed that part of the story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the acrimony there is obviously pretty significant, but it does feel as if baseball is pushing, for me anyway, and maybe I don't have as much evidence for this, but it just feels like baseball is getting closer and closer to dying on that hill and saying, we're going to have what every other major sport in America has. So let's not get into it today. It's still trade deadline time. There's still too much fun to be had, although not for Cleveland Guardians fans, because apparently some of their trade deadline chips are not around anymore. What is going on with this betting story?
What we know is that Luis Ortiz, Guardians right-hander, on June 15th, against the Mariners, and June 27th against the Cardinals, threw pitches that were way out of the strike zone, the second one against the Cardinals in particular. And that unusual betting action had been placed on both of those pitches because nowadays in the gambling landscape, you can bet on individual pitches to be balls or strikes, which is kind of wild. And the Pandora's box, gentlemen, is open. I don't know how they're going to close it, whether it's regulation over these micro bets, but I say with a fair degree of certainty that these are not the only cases. They're just the cases that have been flagged. And it's terrifying to me because what is a game if not one that has some semblance of credibility among the fans that what they're watching is real? You know what it is then? It's World Wrestling Entertainment. And I would really, 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 really hate to see a scenario in which I'm watching any professional sporting event. And even in the back of my mind, I'm thinking a little inkling of, is this real? Is what's going on here on the up and up? Because if not, then, it's just sports entertainment, not sports.
When we chat with you next Tuesday, speaking of betting, we chat with you next Tuesday, how many new Mariners are going to be on this 26-man roster?
Great question. I'd say 2.
You think it's a reliever and a bat of some sort?
Yeah, I think so. If it's 3, it would be 2 relievers and a bat.
There's been a conversation here in town about potentially adding another starting pitching arm, and John Morosi's come on the station a few times and said that as well, and he's not alone. I mean, a bunch of people have said it. Logan Evans has done really nice work, but may hit a pitching limit at some point this year, and Emerson Hancock's been up and down. And
Bryce Miller, we don't
know what's going on there. Is there any?
I think Bryce Miller's going to be all right, by the way.
Well, that'd be good. Do you think there's any chance or need for them to go add a starting pitcher?
Chance, sure. Need, priority, no.
Jeez, what did you just do? Did you just skip a rock and it did it 3 times and you're like,
Was that good or bad? I can't tell.
I think you were just channeling Henry David Thoreau, I thought there.
I mean, I thought it was pretty impressive.
You're just going to your well of 3 named male white poets from back in the day. Do you have any others aside from Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau?
Excuse me. He's a 3 named white guy, too. Darn it!
Slightly different style, but yeah, we could go Edgar. I mean, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. You want to go Henry Wadsworth Longfellow? You want to go Oliver Wendell Holmes? Like, how many of these do you want, Jeff?
You know what, Salk? I appreciate your bag. It's a deep one.
That's about it. I think I've now emptied it, unfortunately. What will be the effect of Aaron Judge going on the IL for the MVP race?
Potentially profound. I mean, Cal's the betting favorite now. And I think that may have been a little bit too much of the pendulum swinging in the other direction, but when we're looking at counting stats, they matter. I don't know that they matter quite as much as like a triple slash to voters anymore. I think that OPS and the lead that Judge has there is still going to be difficult to overcome. But if you have significantly more home runs for Cal Raleigh, if he's ahead in runs batted in, if he's ahead in total bases, and more than anything, just if he's played more, like to me, that would be the tiebreaker. Like if I don't vote anymore, but if I did and I were looking at those two, I'm looking at the defense and just the grind of the position that Cal Raleigh plays, and the number of games that they've played, and it has a chance to be a significant difference. Judge is going to be resigned to designated hitter duties for at least a week, I would assume more after he gets back. And there's a realistic possibility that if his elbow doesn't recover, that he's going to be designated hitter for the rest of the season. And then, the defensive difference between the two grows even greater every game he plays at DH. So I think, I said earlier this year, guys, that it would take something, an injury, something like that for Cal to have a real shot. I think he's got a real shot now.
You think the Derby and the whole All-Star week had something to do with it also, and kind of just introducing himself to some of the folks who maybe don't get a chance to see him all the time?
Yeah, it's really interesting to see Pat McAfee, for example, tweeting about Cal Raleigh now, or to see the number of times that the main ESPN account talks about the big dumper. Like the narrative stuff is working. And I give the Mariners a lot of credit. They have spent a lot of time and energy trying to build up Cal Raleigh the character to meet the level of Cal Raleigh the player. And I give credit to Cal too for embracing it. He's gone full bore on it and gone along with a smile the whole way. And I think it's really cool to see America now understanding this little gem that you guys have had for so long.
Hey, can we go back to some of this trade deadline stuff? So when the Naylor deal gets made, I think most people here felt like they didn't give up a whole lot. Lyle was upset because he likes Brandon Garcia personally, but and Garcia might turn out to be a nice player, but they did not give up a tremendous amount in order to get Naylor. How much more?
Ashkenazi has a chance to be good, guys.
Okay.
But
I'd be willing to bet most people in Seattle have never heard of him.
Yes.
Right.
I don't want to discount that, but what I will acknowledge is that they didn't touch Emerson, Farmello, Sloan, Saincha, Laz, Arroyo, Ford, in Celestin.
I mean, that's a lot.
Like, yeah, I know, but what's a lot, and I think what's to really appreciate going forward is that the Mariners have put themselves in a position. Not all of those guys are going to succeed. Like, that's just a reality of it. There is breakage along the way, whether it is in elbow ligaments, confidence, ability to catch up to velocity or to read spin. But if the Mariners get 3 or 4 good everyday players out of this group, if they're at a 40 to 50% hit rate on those guys,
right,
that's going to sustain them for half a decade going forward.
So,
and that, Brock, is why the only way you trade guys of that ilk is if you're going out and getting people who are going to continue to be contributors, not ones who can go and reach free agency this offseason.
So then what if that's the market for Josh Naylor, who, by the way, might be in competition with Calv to see who has the biggest dumper on the team? What is the market for Eugenio Suarez? How much more do you have to give up for Gino?
It'll be more, but let me turn this on you guys. Would you give up any of those 8 to get Eugenio Suarez?
So it's a great question, and I'm torn. Yes, some of them. I mean, I think not all of them. I wouldn't put them all in the same category. I think Harry Ford is blocked, and that gives me a little bit, it's a little easier to want to give up on someone like him than, say, Colt Emerson or Las Montez. But the challenge I'm having with 2 months of Gino Suarez, as great as he's been, is that we know as well as anyone in Seattle, having watched him for 2 years, he's just a streaky player. And in 2 months, if you get bad Gino as opposed to good Gino, you've essentially just thrown away a good prospect for a guy that will hurt you. Now, if you get good Gino, you're a World Series contender because you're just going to add 50-plus home runs to this lineup. So, I mean, it's a major, major risk.
It is. And the question I think that the Mariners are asking themselves, is this a team, is this a year worth risking?
Yep.
And that's, it's easy for us to say yes, and it might be right. I don't discount for 1 second that it could turn out really well, but it could also turn out really poorly. And that's something that, the Mariners are in the position that they're in right now because they have not been loose in terms of their risk matrix. They haven't gone out and done anything that's been particularly crazy or a huge overpay. I mean, they gave up a lot.
But they're also in the position they're in because of that the other way, too.
Right.
I mean, like, you could say the exact same words and say the Mariners are in this position of having not won, not made it to an ALCS in forever because of the same problem. So you can really look at it both ways.
Yeah, and look, at some point you have to. At some point you have to do something that's stupid.
So is this team worth
and
it?
It might not work.
Is this league worth it?
From Jeff Passan's perspective, is this the right season to take some of those potentially stupid risks?
Yes.
That's Jeff Passan, who joined us yesterday, and obviously since then, not much has changed. Just quiet, very, very quiet right now at the deadline. So what are we watching with these Mariners? I said earlier yesterday was about as lame a game as they've played in a while. It just sort of lifeless, didn't have a lot to it, and you end up getting beat in a game that I really felt like was winnable early. And so now what? Can you believe? Should you believe? Should they believe? Got some thoughts on it next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3. How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands. Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. It's the final days of the warehouse clearance sale with savings up to 25% on brand new 2024 heat pumps and ACs while supplies last. And PSC customers, listen up. Add AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. That's over $2,000 in savings. For heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, trust Home Comfort Alliance. Go to homecomfortalliance.com and tell them John Curley sent you.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
If it's game day or any day, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are your MVPs for trucks and SUVs. Experience the power of choice with the Tundra at 1.99% APR for 72 months. The Tacoma leasing at $299 a month. The all-electric BZ4X with 0% APR and the RAV4 leasing at just $319 a month. Find that all-star lineup at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more. I just took a COVID test. Ugh. Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
At Target, back-to-school-a-days are here. What is back-to-school-a-days, you ask? We're talking 7 days of deals on looks and styles the kids will love, at prices you'll love even more. Because back-to-school at Target means getting all of the above. Through August 2nd, save 25% on select kids' clothes, with additional savings to round out their looks, including uniforms, leggings, polos, and activewear. Plus, their new favorite backpacks are 30% off. Happy back-to-school-a-days, now through August 2nd, only at Target. Terms and conditions apply.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Save no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke Ewart. And Brooke Ewart.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
I swear, it's like every time you want to think something definitive about this Mariners team, they go in the other direction. You want to believe, they lay an egg like last night. You want to quit, they find their way right back into it. It has just been... I'm not believing in much right now. I don't know what to believe in.
Was it Maura that loved Cher?
Yeah, she's a big fan of that song.
Big fan of Cher.
I believe that played at Haley's wedding. If I'm not mistaken.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Do you believe?
Maura loves that. When Justin and I play it, she really dug that a lot.
The auto tune on that is just awful.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm there with you. Baseball's always had its ups and downs, right? I mean, that is what this sport is, and it's why you always kind of caution against small sample sizes or rash judgments or anything else, and it's always had a lot of that over 162 games. But I cannot remember, honestly, a team or really an entire league quite like this team, this league, this year.
Should I trust your memory, though? I mean, legitimately?
No, probably not.
Your memory?
Good point. All right, I'll own that.
Do you remember the league 5 years ago, Salk? No, you don't.
No, but I don't remember having these kind of conversations of like win 3, lose 3, and it just seems like it's everybody at any given time. You know, it's weird. Baseball has the biggest problem of any sport, in theory, with the difference between the tops and bottoms in the league. Well, I guess the NBA has that, but second after the NBA, just because there's such a, there's just a limited number of stars in the NBA. But this feels more pushed towards the middle, more NFL-like, where no one's really run away with it. Yes, there's a couple of awful teams, just like there always are in the NFL. But on any given Sunday, or in this case, any freaking day, one team can beat another, and it doesn't really seem to matter.
I mean, in totality, shouldn't you like this? I mean, shouldn't this be good for fans? In any given series, the Astros can go to Houston and sweep them in 4 games. I mean, shouldn't you love that you can go to New York and get swept? You can go to Detroit and sweep them. We saw that with our very own eyes with our team. I mean, shouldn't this be kind of good for the game? I was hanging out with my buddy Dane Looker last night and his family. Just had a great time seeing his kids, and they're all growing up, and it's just awesome. And we were watching the Mariners, and his youngest is a really good baseball player. And I forget what inning it was. Oh, bases loaded. Cole Young, right? Game's 4-1. You feel the momentum coming, and he just hits the ball just
right on the screws.
Just a piss rocket, as some like to say. He just hit a piss rocket.
There's no need to say that.
Yeah, sorry.
No, none of us like to say that.
Oh, that's not true. I love that term.
Yeah, thank you, Lyle. I did that for the kids. The kids were there. They say that. So
do they?
Don't be such an old man.
All right.
Golly, stop looking at the clouds. And anyway, he hits just a rocket, and you're like, great, 4-3. And sure enough, right? It just they're shifted in just the right spot. The guy can make just the right play. And Dane's like, man, baseball is having his son in it and doing all the try. He's like, it is maddening. It's just it will drive you crazy.
Yeah, it's why you've got to be process oriented.
Right. It's 3-0 count. You take it.
Yep.
You get a pitch to hit. You absolutely hit it on the screws, and you get no reward.
I mean, yeah, and that's what happened.
No reward,
in
and
that
you're gonna
moment.
like it.
But also, at the beginning of the game, Luis Severino looked like he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and Julio swung at 3 straight balls nowhere near the strike zone.
Yeah.
Like, if they had just sat there and not swung at all in the first inning, I don't think Severino makes it out of the inning. I think he walks 5 straight guys, and that's the end of him. But instead, you give him a little life, and then he finds his way back into it. I mean, look, baseball has a lot of ups and downs. We know that, and it's why you can't get too high. It's why you can't get too low. It's why you got to pay attention to process and not just results until you start to pay attention to results at the end of it. You got to look at the Mariners as the last 100 games or whatever it's been so far, rather than making decisions based on the emotion of a game up or down either way, because it's constantly in flux. It constantly changes in the way you view it. But it is, I was saying earlier, I was singing a little Elsa, like, show yourself.
Oh.
Frozen 2, Brock, not just Frozen. Frozen 2.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen Frozen 2.
like,
yeah, you want
show yourself.
Yeah, I mean this is
show
where
who
it's
you are, because last
complicated.
night was lifeless. That was just kind of a lame, lifeless loss. And I'm trying to figure out why they've had so much of the ups and downs, because the day before was great. I mean, they were the dominant team the day before. I don't. Let me be clear and start. This is an exploratory conversation rather than here's what I think it is conversation. I'm just trying to figure it out. Why are the Mariners so inconsistent this year? And one thought I had last night, and I'll throw it out there as a possibility, but I am not endorsing this thought, is that one of the differences between Dan and Scott, I think this year that we've seen, is the consistency of the lineup. Dan's been very consistent with the lineup. Yeah, there's some platoons, and he's made a couple of changes. I don't mean it's been set in stone. But for the most part, he's kept everything the same day after day, ridden through the ups and downs, and I don't know whether that is a part of it. I think the guys love that. And everything I've heard is that is a big part of what the guys love about Dan Wilson. They feel very secure in what they're doing. And when you know you've got that spot in the lineup, you just kind of keep doing your thing and you can kind of ride through the ups and downs, and maybe it keeps those downs from spiraling on you. And I think there's probably a lot to that. The trade-off for that is that maybe you get some of that inconsistency because you're not grouping hot and cold bats together, or you're not playing the hot hand, or maximizing some of the value you could get by moving guys around. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with a reason why they've been so inconsistent.
Yeah, and this is a different conversation, as you said, in April or in May or in June, but we're like, 36 hours to the trade deadline? Less?
Yeah, less. Right? It's tomorrow, yeah.
Less than that, so 30-something hours from the trade deadline, and you'd really like to say, yeah, I mean, this is who we are, and this is exactly, definitively, what we need and what we're going to add. And, boy, it's nearly impossible to do it. It also strikes me, and maybe, again, this is our lack of memory, I don't remember them having these stretches of 17 straight games in 17 days. 17 straight games in 17 days. Just trying to think, like, athletically, right? And talking to, again, Dane and Damon and other friends, like, man, can you imagine doing that? Like, the sport of football is so different as you kind of prepare all week and you play this one game and then you get to react to it and then you got to recover from it and then you got to prepare again. But every single day, we're humans. And, yeah, you see an effort last night, and you're like,
it's funny, though. They've actually built in more off days than they used to, right? The season goes a little bit longer now.
It felt that way early. It felt like through April, May, like, my goodness gracious. There's
so many off days.
So many off days. And now it's like, well, paying the piper.
I guess you could maybe, if you want, I mean, if you really wanted to dig into that, I guess you could look and see where some of the other teams have been at and what the relationship is.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't personally have the
and then you
time
just
to
have,
do that,
and
but
flat out, you just kind of have some personalities and you have some bats, especially offensively, that do this, that this is who they have been.
Yep.
JP one year is phenomenal. The next year is a struggle. The next year is phenomenal. The next year is a struggle. In the midst of this season, he's had some of these mountaintops and valleys.
We've seen it with
Julio
Polanco. We've
and
seen it with
Polanco.
Julio.
And I mean,
Randy, that's been his whole career.
You just kind of
show yourself, please. Yeah. Well, let Elsa do her thing.
Kind of risque.
Is it?
Show yourself.
Oh my God. What's going on with you today?
Nothing. I feel great today. Was Frozen 2 any good?
Yeah.
Because Happy Gilmore 2 sucked.
I know you mentioned that.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, Frozen 2 was good.
Lyle, it was terrible.
It did not suck.
It was 60 of the most ridiculous cameos that just show you that normal people are not actors. Poor Adam Sandler was great. His daughter, as it turns out, was great. His wife was great. All these cameos were ludicrous.
That's what the people want after like
Was
20
it?
years from the original. You
Was
wanna
it
see-
really?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm guessing I'm going to agree.
You
want to
see Kelsey shirtless with honey painted on him and a fake bear attacking him? That's what you want to see? That's what you want to see?
I mean, again, were you expecting this movie to win an Oscar?
Just expected some better acting.
I was expecting it to win an Oscar.
You know, the bummer.
It's an Adam Sandler movie.
Wow, what we did, unfortunately, is we watched Happy Gilmore 1 Saturday with Titus, and it was great.
So it just couldn't hold up.
Oh, it just couldn't even hold up.
Right.
I mean, it was just a disaster.
Wow.
I mean, back-to-back nights just doesn't work.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm really sorry.
Anywho, nobody cares.
Tomorrow's the deadline, and the Mariners do have decisions to make. Passan, I thought, really kind of like summed it up for us yesterday.
It is. And the question I think that the Mariners are asking themselves, is this a team, is this a year worth risking?
Yep.
And that's, it's easy for us to say yes, and it might be right. I don't discount for 1 second that it could turn out really well, but it could also turn out really poorly. And that's something that, the Mariners are in the position that they're in right now because they have not been loose in terms of their risk matrix. They haven't gone out and done anything that's been particularly crazy or a huge over.
Risking what? I mean, if I feel like in this crazy sport of baseball, this crazy results of baseball, this crazy unpredictable nature of baseball, about the only tentpole that I can put down definitively is that for 6 years, Scott Hunter and his draft and development crew will continue to replenish that. So what am I really risking? What am I risking? Risking what? Risking overpaying by a prospect? Okay, great. Do you see my draft? Do you see next year's draft? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like I've got almost like a silent partner. I've got revenue coming in because this has been the most trustworthy aspect of the whole operation. So what am I risking? What am I risking? Go for it. Yeah, this is the year. This is the time. Go take a risk and go get this done.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music of the year.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
All right, we're cruising through summer here, so you're busy. I'm busy. I was driving around yesterday and picking up the kids and driving them from, oh my gosh, Linwood to Magnolia and back again. Yes, everyone's busy, but that can't be an excuse because you could still start the diet, workout, weight loss plan, whatever you need right now. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic will make it easy. You won't feel like you're adding something to a busy life. You're going to be subtracting a ton of weight. I did it. Lost 35 pounds. Ran into Ryan Rowland Smith this weekend. He's down 30. Still looks great. Listener texted in, down 42. Yeah, guys, you can do this in the summer. You'll have more energy. You're not going to feel hungry. That's the way the plan works. And the food is awesome. It's all real food that you buy at the grocery store. Check in with Dr. Coogan. He's worked with over 4,000 local people to deliver successful results. So why not be the next? Schedule your 15 minutes with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Everything really did start great yesterday for the Mariners. Logan Evans looked really sharp early. Luis Severino could not throw a strike, and then all of a sudden, just in a moment, in a blink, everything changed. Evans ends up getting pounded for 6 runs, gave up a long ball to Brent Rooker, and then another one later to Shea Langoliers, so he just didn't have it once it kind of went on him. And on the other side, Severino just settled down, and the Mariners end up losing 6-1 in a game that was, among the quieter, more lifeless ones we've seen this season. Yeah, the offense wasn't great. Logan Evans, as we said, had his struggles.
It does happen from time to time. And, I think, as he continues to throw and gain experience, he understands that. But, they swung the bat well. They found barrels tonight. Obviously we weren't able to get enough going offensively on our side to counteract it.
Yeah, I think if you pointed to one thing, Salk, through these ups and downs and inconsistencies offensively, it feels like the damage they do with runners in scoring position. Right, in Anaheim, it really took a Dom Canzone just kind of flip of the bat, right? He just kind of threw the ball the other way and got a 2-run single. Because they had been like in an 0 for 16. They'd been populating the bases. They just couldn't just break through. And last night, man, 1 for 8, and as I said, the Cole Young one was just the stinger because he just hits it right on the screws. Could have brought the game to 1 run, turned the momentum. Instead, they get out of it. They add on a little bit. They find a way to win, and we'll get a little rubber match today. Yeah, and you get Brian Wu on the mound against Jeffrey Springs. Like, again, somebody said, is this the day Salk's jumping off the bandwagon? Like, I don't hear me saying that. Just the ups and downs. And in fact, I'm saying the exact opposite of that. Careful overreacting to a bad game like last night or a good game like the night before. Just still waiting for this team to show exactly who they're going to be. And they're not alone. Astros snapped their losing streak last night. They get back to 4 games up on the M's. Red Sox win. Rangers lose. So Mariners are back in that 3rd wild card spot now. A game up on Texas, but this is going to change about 1 million times over the next 2 months.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
A lot of talk about the trade deadline. Shannon Drayer will be in at 8:30, and we'll discuss with her. But Mariners have something to do before then. A little roster move today. Luke Raley sidelined by back stiffness.
Rails has had some back stiffness, and so he's going to be in IL. And it'll be a lock here.
Did Luke aggravate it in Anaheim?
Yeah, he had some back stiffness there, and hasn't been able to loosen up there.
Yeah, so he goes to the IL, I'm sure retroactive, and Tyler Locklear has been red hot in Tacoma. Will come up and take a spot in the roster today.
Obviously, I'm kind of bummed for Luke Raley, and that'd be another one that, like, when Luke is going and Luke is rolling, we see the difference he makes on this club. But super excited for Tyler. Like, and if you're going to be a draft and develop organization, you've got to do this. When a guy is hitting what he's been hitting, not for a week or 2 weeks, but for like 2 months, right? And you want to give your guys opportunities, and hopefully. I wonder if he'll be in today. Facing a lefty today, hopefully, that red hot bat can make a little difference. Is this, we saw this with Garcia, is this a possible little showcase for a day or two to just reinforce that this guy is?
I'm sure it wouldn't hurt if he went
4 for 4,
3 for 4 today.
runs.
Yeah, did a little something, show other teams that maybe that's a guy they'd like to trade for. As for that market, it remains very quiet. Sellers are asking for the world. Buyers are just trying to wait them out. I chatted with some folks yesterday in the business, and that's exactly what they said was going on. But, deadline spur action, and tomorrow it could really start to pick up, maybe even as soon as today. If the Mariners are looking for bullpen options, the Twins are still a great partner. Griffin Jacks, Joan Duran, Danny Colum, Blake Stewart.
You don't like anybody from the Rockies, huh, Lyle?
Jake Bird, Seth Halverson, Juan
Mountains turn blue
Mejia.
at 42. Nothing for you, though, huh? Nothing for this Rockies.
I'm sorry to give such an elbow to your area. But
Your adopted area.
Mountains, yeah. All right, fine.
Well, that's kind of where they're at, waiting to see if somebody is going to just lower their price a little bit. And Buster Olney did say he still hears the Mariners are the favorites to land Eugenio Suarez, so we'll see where that goes.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, as we, I would say, speculated yesterday after a rough day for the offense, it bounced back and had a really good day, had their revenge against the defensive practice yesterday. And it sounds like Sam Darnold was really leading the way, which is a good thing. Nice touchdown to A.J. Barner, a deep pass to JSN that was completed. So, yeah, good. I mean, that's got to feel good for him.
So I'm sure you've seen this through the process of raising your kids, your athletes, your performers, your entertainers, that there's some parents that just, pressure their kids. And when the parents are there, the kids just don't perform. I wonder if Sam just feels your presence. Like the 2 times you've been out have been 2 of his rougher days. I just wonder if he's like in impress mode.
I don't know. Every time I go out there, it's rough.
I got to try to put on a show for the Salk guy. I got to try to shut him up. I got to try. He's just trying too hard. It could be that he's just trying too hard to impress you. Because every time you're not there, he seems to be okay.
Yeah.
And Morris doesn't have that influence. Morris seen Sam be just fine.
Well, Mora, yeah.
We'll see tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow, I guess, will be the true test.
We'll all be out there.
We'll all be out
there. We'll see what kind of effect you have on this whole thing. I like listening to Gray Zabel afterwards, talking about some of what he's hearing and some of the coaching he's getting just from the guys around him. Charles Cross sounds like it's been a big part of that.
Can't even put into words how much, a guy like Charles Cross has helped me so far. He seems like a big brother to me, kind of guide me through the ranks and what to expect and kind of tips and tricks and all that stuff. So, and it goes all the way across the board from Olu, Jalen. So I'm pretty fortunate to be in the offensive line room that I am in.
Yeah.
Pretty mature kid.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
I'm going to play another cut of his in Blue 88. Yeah, man, you draft a physical, right? You see all the physical tools, but, stand by what I said, and I think even John said it after the draft, like, Steve Hutchinson said, this is the guy. Like, you need this. Steve Hutchinson knew what it was like to have Robbie Tobeck, somebody that wasn't just good physically, but could verbally express himself and communicate and bring people together. And, yes, so far so good. And obviously, golly, is it a week from tomorrow? The Raiders are in? A week from tomorrow?
Yeah.
You actually get to see these guys play a little real football on the field.
I think that's going to be happening. That is everything you need to know, quarter past every hour. Here in the Brock and Salk Show, training camp, our coverage brought to you by The Landing in Renton. And I should also mention that as you were talking about those preseason games, Brock, we've got one on Friday, August 15th. And we want to send you and 3 of your friends. So go to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab to find out how. If for some strange, embarrassing reason you don't already have the app, you know what to do. Text the word app, APP,
You know me.
2866-979-3776. And we'll send you a link to download it. Enter every day to increase your chances to win. This contest will run through Monday, August 4th. All right. Well, Charles Cross, one of those guys in the offensive line room who's been a good influence on Gray Zabel. How about the dude on the other side of the line from him, Abe Lucas, going to join us next on Brock and Salk.
Lyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3. How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands. Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSE customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
For Riverside Roofing, beyond the national accolades, is a family company from right here in Marysville that's built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. Find them at riversideroofingllc.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close. And they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No, no place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Got some good texts here as we wait for Abe Lucas, who's going to be in just a moment. 253 saying, if you can't compartmentalize and perform as a professional athlete under the high scrutiny that is Mike Salk's pastime, well, then you shouldn't be the starting offensive captain of the local Garrison. That was pretty good. Thanks, 253. I appreciate that one. And then for you, Brock, O is for other, P is for people, scratch your temple. The last P, well, that's not that simple. Thank you for continuing with the APP jokes. Those, as I said, will make me laugh pretty much every time. I think it was good. I have some of this in here to chat about later, but I don't know that we'll get to it because Albert Breer is going to come in for the whole 9 o'clock hour. He's in town. He was awake at like 6 a.m. or earlier.
Can you still hit the dump button, or does Lyle have to do that?
I no longer have that, so Lyle's going to be in charge of the dump button. The
9 a.m. hour. Be ready.
But I thought
I already said that too.
Did you say that? Yes.
I thought this was pretty good. Really positive outlook from Ray Roberts, and there's nobody I trust more, diagnosing offensive line stuff than Big Ray. He tweeted yesterday, offensive line at 1 as a whole, it looks fit, strong, and athletic. Mm-hmm. 2, like the tools and techniques being coached, short sets, jump sets, pocket movements. 3, Zabel has patient, violent hands. 4, Olu and Haynes, good competition. And then finally, Bradford looks to be in shape. So that all came from Ray Roberts and some really positive looks at this offensive line. One guy who should be a stalwart on it, Abe Lucas, right tackle, kind enough to join us right now before practice. Good morning, Abe. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Look at that mountain of a man. Sheesh. You feeling good, looking good, playing good? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's camp. We're in the thick of it. I mean, just the biggest thing is just continue to come out day after day and try to get better and get as many reps as you can.
Hold on a second, Abe. It's camp? Like, what are we, 1 week? We were 1 week today. I mean, go back to your Sacagawea middle school days with the grass up to your knees over there in Pullman, with the sand and the hoses and that with Captain Leach, that was camp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that is true. I mean, it always goes through my head. It's like, listen, if I could do that, I could do anything. Yeah, those are the days, though. But no, we're having a good camp so far. I think as a team, everybody's locked in, dialed in, and trying to get better. So,
I'm sure you're sick of talking about it, but just physically, how much better are you feeling this year?
Way better. I mean, it's pretty night and day. I'm out practicing this year, which is great. It's a stark contrast from last year. But no, I feel good. I feel ready to go. just gonna stay on top of things as much as I can and move forward.
Without violating HIPAA or anything here, I think that it's been sort of debunked, but I want to make sure I just ask you about, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you since, and I've just always had it in the back of my mind that at one point Pete dropped the word chronic in talking about the knee, and that's always just sort of stuck with me ever since. And then it seems like Mike kind of said, well, it's not really chronic. That's not really the right way to describe it. Is this a chronic knee injury, or is it something that's now behind you?
I wouldn't describe it as chronic either. I mean, I'm not going to say too much on it, but, I got it fixed. I mean, people know I had surgery on it, so I got it fixed, rehabbed it. Rehab never really stops with anything that you do as a professional athlete, so I will continue to rehab for as long as my career goes, and just move forward from there and just keep getting the reps on it and feeling good about it.
What does that look like, rehab, now, at this point, now that it's over? And I'm sure it was hell while you were going through it at the beginning. What does it look like now?
It's just a lot of adaptation, I would say. So, to get stronger and to keep things stronger, you have to lift stronger and do more, I guess, strenuous activity. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I'll continue to do. And want to keep the strength around, so we'll keep lifting heavy and recovering the right way.
Abe, I think the first time I met you, you were about 245 pounds at Archbishop Murphy. The great Jerry Jensen, Chris Sullivan, friends of mine, and we were at a luncheon there. I got to shake your hand, and then you go to Pullman. We referenced your training camps there with Mike Leach, and just grew into an all-conference performer there at tackle. And already, gosh, this is year 4 in the NFL for you. As you kind of look at that journey from as just kind of the local guy from Archbishop to Wazoo to now the Seahawks, how do you just kind of characterize the last decade of your walk through this game of football?
I mean, I'm really lucky. I'm really fortunate. I know some people don't believe in luck, but just kind of the way everything fell into place for me, I do feel like I'm very fortunate that it all happened the way that it happened. I mean, I know the kind of caliber player I am. I know that I work hard. I know that I love it. But some things, it just, it seems like, God's looking out for you in certain types of ways, and, I was so fortunate to be able to get drafted by the hometown team after staying in state to go to college. And, it's something I'll always eternally be grateful for.
You get a new offensive system, specifically on the offensive line. It sounds like there's a lot more zone blocking. How different is this system from last year?
I mean, it's totally different. It's an entirely new offense. So, like you said, zone blocking, a lot of wide zone based Kubiak system. It really, I think what it allows us to do as O-linemen is open up and use our athleticism to run. And is different from like more of a traditional style offense in that it's not just strictly like gap and power scheme stuff. I mean, that's there, but it's gonna be fun. It'll be a fun offense to watch. It'll be a fun offense to grow in.
Do you, leading into that, knowing that there's more, as you said, running, do you work out and sort of tailor your body to that system, or is everything business as usual?
I mean, it's more business as usual, I would just say. I mean, our bodies are going to adapt to the offense and to the style of offense that we have, so we're going to get used to running off the ball. I mean, when we train and stuff, that'll help, but it's all in the adaptation. Like, there's nothing super specific that we have to do except for just practice what we're going to do.
The great Abe Lucas here with us. I have a sense that maybe Coach Benton and Mike Leach would have really enjoyed their time together.
Yeah,
am I right in that sense?
I think so. I mean, from what I remember, it was like a little interview that Leach gave where he was talking about offensive linemen and just how much he loved offensive linemen. And I think he made the comment that if football didn't have offensive linemen, it would just be like soccer. And he said that, offensive linemen are the guys who, they dislocate their fingers and they laugh about it. It's like that sort of thing is funny to them, and that's what makes football go and football great. And I think Benton would have loved that. So I do agree. I think they would have enjoyed their time together and been very successful together.
You laugh at a dislocated finger?
Probably, yeah.
I've talked to Salk about just the institutional knowledge, because this isn't just Coach Benton, right? You have Rico there as well. You have people that have been just immersed in this system, Abe, not for years, but for decades doing it. Like that, they made their livelihood doing it. Do you feel that as you're presented this new offense, as you're all learning, do you feel that kind of groupthink and that institutional knowledge that's come in the building?
I do, yeah. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to see people who are like very, very knowledgeable about any sort of anything in life. And these guys know the offense inside and out, and they can talk about it just on the run, willy-nilly, and just talk about any little minute detail that's within there. And that's, what we're all trying to get to so that we can all understand this offense. And, I mean, like you said, decades of experience, and that comes with decades of experience, is knowing all the ins and outs of something. So we'd be fools to not listen to them and not take what they're giving us.
At this level that you're at, and Brock kind of referenced your whole journey through high school and college, at this level, what moves the needle more for an offensive lineman? Is it the size and strength, or is it that technique and the way you're utilizing the size and strength?
I just think it's a combination of both. I mean, there's a lot of different types of players that exist in the NFL, and there's very few players who can have like successful careers just strictly based off of athleticism. They're very rare. They exist, but they're very rare. You have to come with some sort of technique and some sort of finesse, I would say. Now, obviously, you want to be strong. Obviously, you want to be athletic, but it's combining the two. And I would say that, if you had to pick one or the other, if I had to pick one or the other as an offensive lineman, I would lean more so towards the technician part of it all, because technique can save you a lot of time. There's a lot of guys who aren't necessarily the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest, but they're technical masterminds, and that saves them, and they've been able to create long careers out of that.
Do you guys enjoy the one-on-one drill as much as the herd media that just runs over there and sprints and can't miss one single rep when they get the pads on and do one-on-one pass rush drill? Or is it just miserable for an offensive lineman?
The way I look at it is like one-on-ones is a very defensive-oriented drill. I mean, it's one guy against one guy. They're working with a lot of space. They can do anything. The only advantage we have there is the snap count. But the great thing about one-on-ones for an offensive lineman is that you're so exposed that it's going to expose the weak parts of your game and the things that you need to improve on the most. And that's what we need. It's what we need as offensive linemen. We have to be shown what we're doing poorly so that we can improve at it. And then, when we do win those one-on-one reps, show us what we're doing well on that island while we're exposed with just the person.
You got it tough over there, though. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence and Derek Hall both rushing from that side, and Lawrence looks like he's got a little old man strength in there or something.
Yeah, I mean, D-Law's a beast. He's always been a beast. And when we went out and acquired him, I was stoked. I was really, really excited about it because I knew that I was going to be going against him and competing against him, and it was only going to make me better. And he, in my mind, is one of the most complete defensive ends in the NFL, if not the most complete. Like, he stops the run, he knows how to read it, and he's relentless, and he has an arsenal of just pass rush moves dialed in. So, I mean, I'm excited that I get to compete against him every day.
Awesome.
Pretty cool, man. Thanks for doing this. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of camp. It's not at Sacagawea Middle School anymore, sadly. But if you have to be at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center on the shores of Lake Washington, I guess that'll do. Abe, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Abe.
No problem, you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. There's Seahawks tackle Abe Lucas.
I think I mispronounced that, by the way. I don't think they call it Sacagawea.
It's now Sacagawea.
Yeah.
I know. We debated that back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was like a big Rock and Salk debate. Is it Sacagawea or Sacagawea? Yeah, I think we both reverted back to our youth when it was Sacagawea.
And the great thing is I'm sure the text line won't remind us of which way.
You know what? No one has said anything.
No.
So I don't know. No one they're ripping other things. But
I don't know
no,
if they
not
know how to
that.
type in even how to pronounce the
Sacagawea versus
yes.
Sacagawea?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. 360 with a pretty good text. To me, size and strength is the price of admission. Every O-lineman's a big, strong man. It's the technique that differentiates between those guys that are all huge and strong. I don't know that that's entirely true, though. Like I was wondering if that might be the case also. But I'll tell you what, you go out there and you look at the guys, and you kind of have to see them in person, I think, to feel it. There is a difference. Like, there's a difference between Derek Hall and Jamie Sheriff, who's like fighting to be on the roster as another defensive end. Like, you see the difference. There's a reason Derek Hall was a second-round pick. He's a monster. He's fast. And then you see Jamie Sheriff or some of the other, I don't mean to pick on him, some of the guys that are going to be at the edge of the roster, and you're like, Yeah, it's just doesn't look the same.
Yeah, I think there's a bigger, like that delta, that disparity when you're not like a Derek Hall and Boye Mafe, right? They're just chiseled out of granite, 250, 260 pounds, and they run 4.6, right? I mean, they're just different than the guy that's, comes in at the undrafted guy that's probably, 240 and runs 4.9. Like that's a huge difference. Offensive linemen, like go watch them at the combine. They all run between like 4.9 and 5.1. Like that's what they are, speed and movement wise, right? They largely all lift 225. There's some outliers, some freaks, some Walter Jones that are like, yeah, just don't tell him what weight, and he can bench anything, like just superhuman. But by and large, Salk, like the size, the strength, the speed, the bench press numbers are not that different between a first-round pick and Mitchell Richmond taking the 7th round. And that is where, honestly, being able to bend to be a technician. Like, as he said, it's kind of nuanced because it's not just big, strong, and it's not just technician. It's like, do you have then the physical flexibility? You hear that a lot. Hey, man, can you bend? Can you move? Can you even get to the finesse part of it?
Yeah.
Right? And that's where Gray Zabel, watch him hit a baseball. And Abe Lucas, watch him move as you did the first time a rookie minicamp.
Yeah, they're just athletes.
Yeah, and they can bend, and they're pliable, and they're
well, that's why it's not just size and strength, but that athletic ability at the size and strength. It's got to factor in.
I've got about a million things in my head about my high school team, but I'm 45 minutes in. I haven't mentioned them once, and I'm not going to.
Too late.
I'm just not going to.
Too late.
No, I didn't mention them.
So you just did exactly that, but that's okay.
I didn't.
We'll reward you anyway with some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Heward breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
We had every single Seahawks interview we've done so far this year be pretty good.
Thoughtful.
I think so far they've all been thoughtful.
They're all thoughtful.
Like talking to Boye, enjoyed talking to Abe Lucas.
Because this head coach
like Demon Worry,
and this regime is building on the heels of what Pete built, and that is you got to talk ball, man.
Yeah.
You got to love ball. You got to live it. Like, you just can't come in here, do your job, check out, and leave.
But even, I mean, I think you definitely feel that. But it does feel like even beyond that, just, I don't know, just good dudes, good interviews. That's been kind of fun.
Yep.
Julian Love was great. I mean, kind of sounds like a coach.
Ask me the Gray Zabel one first, because I'll play right into that.
All right. Well, we'll start there. Question number 1, how did Gray Zabel continue to reinforce that sense of transparency and vulnerability that we're seeing at the VMAC?
You just heard it from Abe Lucas, too, right? Like, you know what I like about the one-on-one drill? Exposes you. Like, you just can't duck from it. It's really easy to be the backup quarterback. It's really easy, Salk, to not get in the hockey game. It's really easy to not be exposed for your failure. It's really easy to be one of 8 or 9 transfers that come in, and you're the new shiny object, and you've not shown your warts, and you've not had your competitive scars. It's very different to actually be in the ring playing. Gray Zabel sounding a lot like Abe Lucas just did with us, just being vulnerable about, man, these are areas I got to keep growing.
Progressing every single day. I mean, you got to clean up a lot of things, and going against the guys that you go against on the Seahawks D-line, they magnify your weaknesses tenfold. So just trying to learn from them and take as much coaching as I can and progress as much as I can.
You know what I love about this game, and it's been furthered by life experience lately? Football is hard. It is hard. Hockey is hard. Now, hockey, you've got, shifts, and you're in and you're out, and you're constantly moving, and who's in, who's out, who's in. It's a high-effort game. Are you exposed as much as you are in a one-on-one drill? Not very often. Sometimes penalty shots or whatever, but it's such a fast-moving game. Basketball, you make a mistake, go make up for it in the other, and you're just back and forth and back and forth. Baseball, you get like 3 at-bats a game, and there's games the ball's not even hit to you. Soccer, I make 3 good little passes, and you're just not – football exposes you. The film, the eye in the sky, exposes you. And I think that this head coach, even more than Pete maybe, right? Because Pete was always so positive and never sandwiched anything of any criticism. This coach will. And he does it for himself, and I'm sure the staff, and they take it on. And it's like, hey, man, we can be transparent and vulnerable because we're all in this thing together. And we have heard that here 7 days straight with every Seahawk we've talked to.
All right, question number 2. One of the other guys that Zabel mentioned was Charles Cross as being a tremendous leader and mentor in that room. Does a deal get done before the season, or is this another year out?
Good news, bad news. You talked with Brady about this on Monday, and he kind of labeled and talked through some of the challenges of this extension for Charles and why they've not reached out to him yet. Because, well, he's on the hook this year for about $3.5 million is all. It's amazing. And then next year will be $17.5 million. So those two numbers are there, like the Seahawks have them. Like, this is what you're making. Now, do we want to buy out? This is kind of almost a baseball thing. Or do we want to buy out your years of arbitration, right, to take care of you and lock you in over the long term? Well, if so, the market's been pretty telling. I mean, the kid from the young third-round pick from Indy, his year, just signed a $100 million 4-year extension. The first-round pick of the Chargers, who's been a 2-time Pro Bowler, achieved a little more than Charles, signed a 104-year, $120 million extension. So there's the numbers. Right, like you kind of have your slot now between 100 and 120 million to add on to those 2 years. So I would think, like, if you want to take care of the guy, and he's made a lot of money, he's made 17 million, he's going to make guaranteed another 20 million. But if you want to get a deal done, the market's been in place, and I think it's always better to get that deal done now than pay next year's rate in the year after rate. So I hope reasonable minds can get this deal done.
So pretty crazy. He's made $37 million.
Well, 17's a far, but yeah, another 20.
Well, but there's 37 guaranteed.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. I'd take $37 million. I know we throw these terms around, this money around all the time, but every once in a while it hits me like, you just mentioned all he's had is like $37 million. Not saying he doesn't deserve it or anything, just every once in a while it strikes me of how much money that really is. Question number 3. I know you're going out to UW practice today. And by the way, we'll be over at Seahawks practice tomorrow.
What a 24
early
hours.
show tomorrow. And Mike McDonald will join us in person at 9:30. But what are you looking for at
ask
UW
him
today?
Any crazy questions tomorrow? You got any crazy questions?
Come up
for
with
him
one.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
You crazy? You got a dart in your, I think you should come to that interview with a dart in your neck. So he can say, you crazy, you got a dart in your neck, Salk. What am I looking for today? What a 24-plus hours, right? Got Husky practice, got Seahawks practice, we got a trade deadline. Doesn't get much better than this. You know what I'm looking for today? And last year I did this too. We were out at training camp. I got to watch Jed Fish and just trying to watch him piece things together. And you could feel some of what he wanted to do, didn't have the personnel to do it. Year 2, there's more personnel in place to be a pro. I think I told you that repeatedly when I did those Husky games, the year and the run of the national title. And this team's not that team. But what did I constantly say to you, Salk? Like, golly, go to practice. This looks like a Seahawks practice. Jalen McMillan, Rome Odunze, and Michael Penix, and on and on and on. At pro. If the culture is be a pro, I really want to see Elijah Jackson. I want to see Jonah Coleman. I want to see Denzel Boston. I want to see Ephesians Prysock. I want to see Takario Davis transfer from here. These guys have all pro ability, pro potential. I want to feel that. I just want to feel that today. And it's day 1 of camp for them. So I'm sure it'll be some stops and starts and everything else. But just that feel of being a professional, that's the essence of Jed's culture. Big Ten Media Days last week, he could not have said that 100 different ways. Does it feel that way when I'm out there today? I'll let you know tomorrow.
Good stuff. All right, that is today's Blue 88, and kind of wraps up a good 25 minutes or so of football talk between Abe Lucas and then some football questions with Brock. And really nice to see that the offense bounced back yesterday. I'm not surprised. I was hoping that would happen, and I hope people didn't hear yesterday as like a panic about the offense, just as simple statement of when we went, they didn't look good that day. And an acknowledgement that there will be ups and downs for both sides of it. It was nice to see, and I think there's just a little bit more concern about that side of the ball just based on the personnel.
Yeah. On just kind of the dynamic playmaking ability. Defensively, you feel like, and it's why super positive article yesterday. Maybe the most positive article the whole offseason was ESPN ranking the young 25 and under rosters, and the fact that they put the Seahawks as number 2 on that list. There's some young, dynamic Byron Murphy and Spoon, like just difference makers. Well, JSN's got to be that offensively. Like he's just flat out got to be. And it was nice to see him run by someone yesterday for a 40-yard touchdown. Like there it is, right? There is that home run ball. Small ball in major leagues is hard. Small ball in the NFL is nearly impossible. You have to have somebody that can just clear the bases and just put that threat in your lineup nice to see him get that done. And in Arroyo, it looked like him and Nick were mixing it up in kind of a good little way, too.
After he said that they were talking trash to each other.
Let's go.
That didn't even work. It was kind of fun. Kind of like that. 954 checking in from Florida. Spent the last 5 weeks waking up at 4:30 and not getting home until 6, just to do it all over again. Today I woke up at 9, and it was amazing. Now I see why you complain about your schedule. Hey, thanks. We appreciate that. Lyle would complain too, but he's fast asleep. We'll be right back on Seattle Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
I'll start with the biggest storyline. I mean, it's Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Sam. When you get into training camp, this is when you really make this thing yours. And I compared it to like religion. Like, you just got to have faith, dog. Like, that's the only way. You can feel it sometimes, depending on what you believe in. You can see it sometimes, but you don't really know. You got to have faith.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
The Davis Law Group Charity Golf Tournament heads to the Prospector Course in Suncadia on August 20th. Proceeds benefit Life Support I-90, funding life-saving training and equipment for the first responders on call every day, covering the thousands of travelers heading over the I-90 corridor east of Snoqualmie Pass through Cle Elum and the surrounding areas. Tee times and sponsor packages are limited, so sign up today at dlggolf.com. That's dlggolf.com, because the life you save could be your own.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you. Which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/22/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile, Wi-Fi, and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, so just to lay this out for you, Shannon Drayer in 30 minutes as we are a day before the trade deadline. Talk to Shannon. She's been on the road trip, get a sense as to what she's been seeing, the introduction to Josh Naylor. Still laughing at yesterday's text, calling him the big grumper. I think that is hilarious. I don't know whether he would like it or not, but I think it is hysterically funny and really kind of fits with at least the vibe he gives off. I don't know what he's like in person, but I think that's one of the questions for Shannon. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll shift back to some football as Albert Breer is going to come in. Yeah, he's going to stick in here for the whole hour.
Is he going to have a trash take?
I don't know about that, but maybe he could help me as the trash master. He and
we
I
have
could
two
debate.
hats after all.
That's true. He could wear the old trash master hat.
He can wear the old hat.
I can wear the new trash master hat. Yeah. So that's coming up a little bit later as well. I want.
Oh, spit it out.
I want so.
Oh, spit it out, Salk.
I want so badly for this trade deadline to be simple.
Ugh.
Because to me, that's the beauty of the trade deadline. And I've said this for years and years. This is one of my favorite days. And I do see it a little bit as like a hand of poker where everyone's holding their cards up and you got to decide in or out. Is my hand good enough or not? Or am I folding in order to get better for the future? And that moment, I think, is great. In recent years, though, I think what we've started to see is that because there are so many people with mediocre hands and generally not too many with great hands, but only a couple with really lousy hands, and the ones that have lousy hands don't really have much to give you, it's really sort of turned into this shades of gray. And instead of it being all about like, yes, I'm in or I'm out. Okay, well, that's a simple thing. Being in or out used to mean like, okay, I'll get a reliever. I'm in. Okay, I'll trade the prospect. I'm in. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to trade away one of my bats. I'm out. Now it's these shades of gray. Like, how in are you? You already went in. I mean, you're in. You traded for Josh Naylor. You're in. And you gave up, something significant. Not a ton, but you gave up something significant for Josh Naylor. You showed very clearly to your clubhouse, to your fans, to everybody that you're in. You believe this team has a shot to win this year. As you should. They're in a playoff position right now, and they're only 4 games out of the West. Yesterday was 3. By tomorrow, it could be 3 again. That's sort of the way this thing has been going. The West is very much in play still for the Mariners based on who Houston is and who you are. But how much are you willing to commit to this group, given what some of the inconsistency you've seen over the course of the year? And then the second question, can you fix the inconsistency by adding more talent to the mix? And I think that's what has made this challenging, along with the fact that the very few teams that are actually in the seller camp are trying to hold everybody over a barrel right now.
Yeah, along with the fact that you have been pretty darn patient in building this farm system into one of these top 10 systems, and you've gotten to see a little of Ben Williamson this year. You've gotten to see a little of Cole Young this year. You've obviously seen all of the fruit that has been born with your pitching development over 3 or 4 years, right? With George and with Logan, and now even Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock earlier in some stretches. Like you see what's coming, and the next wave of these guys, Salk and Arroyo is right on the fringe of coming up here. Locklear is going to be up here tonight, let alone the Emersons and the top Las Monte. Like, so do you want to do this or not? Do you want to go for it or not? And Lyle, question for you. You said on the email last night you got the sense that no Suarez. You getting the sense that can you kind of reinforce that in some way or another?
I mean, I wouldn't say totally rule it out, but there's a lot of teams in on Gino.
Yes.
Paired with, I think the Mariners need a bullpen arm and a real dude of a bullpen arm. Probably at this point more than they need a third baseman.
Yep.
They need both, but if you're making me pick one, bullpen arm.
And I think that's where they should be. I mean, again, I've said before, I think bullpen's a really, kind of crucial piece for them. But, Buster Olney did say this morning in the piece with Jesse Rogers and Jeff Passan that he thinks that the Mariners, he keeps hearing that the Mariners are still the favorite for Eugenio Suarez. So, I mean, I'm kind of with you. Like, I think that there's an element of them where they're like, look, we'd like Gino, but we're not going to commit to that. So what do we think of Willie Castro? What do you think of just going after the bullpen arms or trying to combine those things? And that's what they should be doing. They shouldn't be putting all their eggs into one basket, especially when, as we know, that basket can be kind of a mixed bag at times.
Josh Naylor feels like Gray Zabel. Feels like the move that you needed to make, right? Feels like, hey, man, at 18, John, just take Gray Zabel. Take a really good, consistent football player.
It's what you need.
It's what you need.
Yep.
Josh Naylor was the Gray Zabel. Like, come on, Jerry and Justin, just get it done. Find a way, and it doesn't matter. It ended up not being 2 top 10 prospects or Garcia's a nice player, but get it done. And now, I don't know, man, part of me feels like I like to see something that none of us have talked about. I like to see one of these relievers, and certainly you've heard from sources and people, and I'd love to see one of those known commodities. But is there an opportunity to do something here? Don't you have some freedom to do something maybe with the Tampa Bay that none of us see coming?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you want an out-of-the-box idea, there's one floating around this morning. I'm sure I'm about to make a lot more friends on the text line, just like I did with Bregman. But apparently Carlos Correa is being floated out there, and the Astros are looking to potentially have a reunion with him, and they put him at third base, and with Paredes out. I mean, he has a no-trade clause, and I don't know if he did accept the trade here, but would I do it? Yep, in a heartbeat.
He's a rental right now?
No.
What is he? You got to take
money.
on that contract, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing that. I don't know.
Well, I would.
You would? You want to sign up for the next how many years is it with Correa? 5?
No, he signed that deal in 22, 23, so it'd probably be like
3 years.
You know what Lyle has no issue doing? Sop'em. S-O-P-M. Sop'em. Spending other people's money. He has no problem whatsoever doing that. Not my money.
To me, it's not a money issue. I don't know whether I'd want to commit to Carlos Correa for the next 3 or 4 years. That would be...
You know what? Now I'm looking at it. Yeah. He's got a ton of vesting options in this contract too. It could go on a long time.
I don't know, man. I like where you're thinking. I don't know that I'm willing to do that if I'm the Mariners. That does not excite me the way some of the other things have, to be honest.
In all seriousness, you want to hear a couple other rumors that are being floated out there this morning, and this could be more up the Mariners' alley because it's a couple of bullpen arms. So there's rumors out there that there's teams monitoring Camilo Doval, if you guys know that name, from the Giants, who's got big stuff, and he comes at you.
The Giants selling? What's going on with them?
I don't know.
I thought the Giants were good.
They're not now.
I know. We saw them earlier. They look like one of the best teams in baseball.
Well, and then speaking of the NL West, in terms of teams that are supposed to be good, but you've got names floating out there as if they're selling. Robert Suarez, the Padres closer, another really good arm.
Yeah.
He's apparently being checked in on and seems to be floated out there a little bit. So why would the Padres deal him? I don't know, but
the Giants are 500, by the way.
How many games out though?
54 and 54.
But in the wild card, kind of right in the same area. I don't know. Here's a thought. While
5 in a row.
Those things could be true, they could be happening. Those teams may be looking to sell some of those players, or it may be leaked from some of the buyers that, hey, this market might get flooded a little bit. If you're trying to hold on to your reliever, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Washington, etc., hey, we could always go talk to the Padres. We could always go talk to the Giants. Like, there's other names out there, so lower your asking price before you get nothing. Yeah,
Giants are 5 games out of the wild card.
Yeah.
And having to hop over 2 other teams to even get into there.
Yeah, and that's sort of in Arizona land too, right? So, yeah, I mean, maybe they do end up selling. Some text messages. Luis Robert. Got a couple texts for Luis Robert. That would really surprise me. I know he's heated up in the last 3 weeks, so you're finally starting to see something there. But I just don't see how he fits where they're going and what they want. I don't see that one at all. Another texter saying, what about Junior Caminero? And we got some of that yesterday. I know you want to trade with Tampa. Caminero isn't a free agent for 6 years, and he doesn't get paid for 3. They're not trading Junior Caminero. I mean, that would be pointless. I mean, I know the Rays do some things that drive people crazy. There would be no reason whatsoever for them to trade Junior Caminero, but are there other players on that roster who are a few years in that they don't want to pay? Yeah, I mean, I think that's a possibility. And obviously, Pete Fairbanks has been a name that's come up before. Yanni Diaz's name has come up. So, like, there are still options in dealing with Tampa, but I think you're starting to kind of find yourself in a spot where there aren't that many outside the box options. I know you said you want to see something no one's really talking about. From everything I've heard, there aren't a lot of names out there that we're not talking about. Okay. That we've been kind of on all of these names. Is this true? Since the Devers trade, San Francisco has the worst record in baseball.
They're real bad.
It's unbelievable what he did. Is this guy just the biggest turd of all time? I mean, like, he leaves the Red Sox and they become good again. He goes to San Francisco and they tank. Is he that bad a guy? Man.
I think he'll be fine long term. Let's look at this in 5 years. This is one of the best hitters in baseball.
I know it is, but, I mean, facts is facts, man. Facts is facts.
Taxes is taxes.
And taxes is taxes.
Yeah, he hasn't been one of the best hitters since getting to the Giants so far.
For sure. Not a great hitter's park, by the way. Not like Fenway Park. He may be regretting some of that. All right. Shannon's coming in 20. We'll discuss more of this with her, and then Albert Breer for an hour of football starting at 9. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot still to come. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed all in. Plus get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSE customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I'm here letting you know the Ford Summer Sales event is happening now at West Hills Ford, where you can get the 2024 F-150 Super Crew 4-wheel drive at $14,982 off MSRP on approved credit. West Hills Ford, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Summer is in full swing, and T-Mobile Park is the hottest spot in Seattle.
Randy Arozarena, his 4th home run in the last 3 games, and he is high-stepping all the way to 3rd.
Don't miss out on special events like the next Mariners Fireworks Night this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the division rival Rangers at 7:10, and after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with an epic post-game show. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Up first deck, number 34 for the big number.
Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats and check out what's on deck at the ballpark, including Aloha Shirt Day this Saturday at 1:10. Plus, be here for more can't-miss post-game events. The Mariners Drone Show is August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the final fireworks night of the season is September 12th. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Man, look at that Return of the Day Old King, man. Oh, wow. Emotional.
King of the Hill is back.
They got a Bob's in the airport now. Oh, that's Boba.
World has changed, Dad.
Bobby wants to bring that new girl over for dinner.
The Vegas? What the hell am I supposed to feed her?
Can't we just put some grass in a bowl?
From Mike Judge and Greg Daniels.
Ready to make some memories, Dad?
Let's freaking go.
A Hulu original series, King of the Hill. Season premiere August 4th. Streaming on Hulu. The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, it did start off well for the Mariners last night. And honestly, I was watching that game. I thought Logan Evans looked as sharp and as good as he has maybe in his major league career earlier, right? I mean, he looked really, really good. They couldn't touch him. Changeup was moving. Everything was moving. And then it just kind of fell apart on him all at once. Couple of guys on base. And Brent Rooker makes him pay.
He deals 1-2. Swung on. That is blasted left field. If it's fair, it is gone, and it is gone. Long blast by Brent Rooker, the All-Star. A 3-run home run. And with one swing, the A's have a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, they never really recovered from there. Shea Langoliers had a home run, and couple other runs in there. The next thing you know, it's 6-1 and just kind of never really felt competitive last night.
No, 4-1 with the bases loaded there. You felt like there might be a shot, might be a chance, and just unfortunately a bad break on just a rocket hit by Cole Young off of his bat. So the last 6 games, right, we're trying to figure out why just this up and down and topsy-turvy. How about 5 for 44 with runners in scoring position?
Yeah.
Like they're popular. This isn't like just, nobody on up, just, there's a goose egg, there's a goose egg, there's no activity. They're stealing bases, and kudos to Randy. Gets to 2020 for what, the 5th straight year?
Did you like him trying to take the base?
I did.
too. I love me some Randy.
Pulled it out like, maybe not. Maybe
I'd pay good money to watch like an hour-long podcast conversation between Randy Arozarena and Josh Naylor.
You think there's a lot there?
I don't know, but I'd watch it. I'd watch the whole thing. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that. I think the challenge I have with that is that, like, that's supposed to be the strength of this system and philosophy and all of that.
I love the pressure. I love how much they're stealing and running and putting pressure.
Yeah.
But then you just got to get that hit. You got to deliver. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of solo home runs on this road trip. Right? I mean, a lot of numbers that, like, at the end of it, you're like, wow, that's good. Cal's at 41 home runs. Oh, that's nice. Randy's at 20. Oh. But just from a consistency, especially, again, in those scoring opportunities, not capitalizing. Hopefully they do today. Hopefully they can win this series, and just kind of a weird night game.
You talk, I know. It is weird. I'm guessing it's just so freaking hot in Sacramento that
so?
I'm guessing this time of year.
Doesn't that feel like a spring training field?
I like it. I like watching the games there.
It feels like they're in Peoria.
I like it. I think it's great seeing the fans out on the berm and stuff. Like, I think it's kind of fun. You mentioned the offense. Here's Dan Wilson.
I mean, I think, again, tonight, we did create a lot of traffic. We had runners on. We were having some good at-bats. We took some walks. We had some singles. Able to get a lot of runners on. We hit some balls hard, like I said, in those situations, but just coming up short.
And you should get runners on. Luis Severino stinks. I mean, like, he couldn't hit the strike zone. You should get runners on. Unfortunately, too many big strikeouts and big moments.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Gearing up for this trade deadline tomorrow. Jeff Passan joining us yesterday and says, look, the Mariners are in a pretty good spot regardless of how they handle this.
If they get, I think after I was on last week, Logan Gilbert went out and absolutely shoved, and then we saw 4 innings in his last start that looked like classic Logan Gilbert, and it was a little rough after that. But if they get the pitching, and if they get just another arm, maybe 2 out of the bullpen to solidify it, this is a good team. This is a team that can win the American League, and I say that more because the American League is just kind of than the fact that the Mariners are great. But, hey, you play the hand that you're dealt, and every team in the American League right now has been dealt a hand where nobody else is that much better than them that they have no excuse not to go for it at this point.
Yeah, every team is flawed in the American League.
Yes.
I think a little bit more than the National League even. Like the Mets and the Dodgers, and there's some top-end teams there, Phillies, Brewers. Yeah. American League, everybody is flawed, and they're not going to fix all of their warts and all their flaws at the trade deadline. It's not going to happen. How much can you do? I'll stand by what I said. I would love, what time is the trade deadline tomorrow? 1 p.m. Pacific time, I believe?
3.
It's 3 Pacific time?
Yeah.
So I would love, in the next 30 hours, 2 more Mariners. We'll get one. Locklear's coming up because Luke Raley's going on the IL, so he'll be up and hopefully in the lineup tonight. But I would love to see 2 more Seattle Mariners as some just proven, veteran, somewhat consistent guys to add to this roster.
Well, I think you're going to get it. I mean, I don't know how significant the upgrades will be, but yeah, I would think you get at least 1, if not 2 more guys here. And I would almost be assured that they'll get somebody in their bullpen. Maybe it won't be in the higher end of that spectrum, but they're going to get at least one. I mean, there's no way they're going to continue to roll with some of the guys who have been in the low leverage spots in this bullpen.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Big day for the Seahawks offense yesterday, which was good. They needed it after a tough day the day before. Gray Zabel afterwards giving out state secrets.
I'll give you guys a little insider information. Coach McDonald probably doesn't want me to, but Leonard Williams, Jay Reed, Murph, those guys are really, really good. So I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
He's going to be fun.
He's got a little personality.
You got a little toe back to him in the years to come. He's going to be an entertaining kind of cat.
What did you say more? He was what? Shotgunning Gatorade?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brady posted some video of Charles Cross and Gray Zabel shotgunning cans of Gatorade after practice.
They do like a.
You know, I think would
Pop the back
really
of it?
enjoy. You said you want a Rosarena nailer because you like uncomfortable, I guess.
That would be uncomfortable.
You know what I would really like? I'd really like to get Cal Raleigh and Gray Zabel on Captain Tom's fishing boat, like in the off seasons.
Can you get Luis Castillo in there too?
Yeah, he'd be cool.
Big fishing guy.
But I have a sense that Gray and Cal would really enjoy their time with one
I could see
another.
some similarities there. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Darnold, by the way, with a good day yesterday, which is good to see. Seahawks closing in here on preseason. Brock starts what?
A week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow.
Raiders.
Well, we want to send you and 3 of your friends to watch that game on Friday, August 15th. That's what? Kansas? Who they play? Kansas City in that game?
That'd be the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Yes. Well, here's what you got to do. Open the Seattle Sports app and then click the Win tab, and you can find out how to win the 4 tickets if you don't already have the app. Absurd, but okay. Text the word app, APP, 2866-979-3776, and we will send you a link to download it. Enter every day to increase your chances to win through Monday, August 4th. All right. Our training camp coverage brought to you by The Landing in Renton. We'll get back to some baseball here in just a moment with Shannon Drayer. And then Albert Breer, Monday morning quarterback, coming in for the final hour of the show. What is this new Mariner roster like? What is Josh Naylor like as he says no thanks to the Trident? Is he truly the big grumper? It's next on Brock and Salk.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for.
the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at winning 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks host the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 30th through August 4th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
It's time for your summer road trip service at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Before you hit the road, stop by and get your vehicle road trip ready with their incredible service departments, no appointment necessary. Now through July 31st, you can receive $100 off when purchasing 4 eligible tires. Whether you're in the north or the south, their expert technicians have you covered. Visit Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland today for your summer road trip service and drive into adventure with confidence. Offers valid through July 31st, 2025. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, let's see. Albert Breer going to be here at 9 o'clock for a while, for probably about a half hour. I don't know if they'll make it in for the whole hour. Yeah. We'll see how that looks. But he is on his way in, and we'll chat with him coming up in just a little bit. Before we do it, though, it's trade deadline tomorrow, Brock, and man, there's a lot of information out there. The Mariners are all in. The Mariners aren't all in. The Mariners are going to get Geno Suarez. The Mariners are good with Josh Naylor. They need a reliever. They don't care about a reliever. Shannon Drayer is going to help us piece through all of it right now. Shannon, good morning from Sacramento. How are you?
Well, I'm in Sacramento.
Yeah.
How is Sacktown, baby?
It is actually warmer than Cooperstown, which I could not imagine, but yeah.
Is that why they're playing this thing at night tonight? They didn't want a day game in the middle of the heat of Sacktown?
I think that's definitely a possibility. You're seeing the two teams playing in minor league parks, a little bit different schedules with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa has basically left Tampa for the month, and the Mariners get to go back in September, right in hurricane season, which should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, these parks are different. The weather is different, but baseball adjusts.
Mm-hmm. Is this the season, like we get this in the NFL draft, like the couple days leading up to it, it is the season of misinformation. Are we with the trade deadline looming here in 30 hours, just yesterday, today, kind of in the season of misinformation right now?
Well, I think it's misinformation probably for a month to 90 days before you even get to this point, because everybody likes to talk about exciting things.
Mm-hmm.
And, to that end, there are so many players that were talked about that were likely never available. But there are players that have been talked about that legitimately you would think would get moved. And trade deadline in particular, I think there was a lot of shock that we didn't see much done in the weeks leading up to it. If you look at it, Naylor's pretty much the biggest early move, and that's hardly early. That was a week before the deadline. And then there was an absolute standstill, it almost seemed like, over the weekend. So this is either going to be the biggest dud of a trade deadline that we've seen in some time, or it's going to be absolutely nuts over the next 24 hours.
I really hope it's not a dud, Shannon. That would be such a bummer.
When you do your fireworks thing. Do your fireworks thing.
Yeah, no, I hope it's not a dud. And
that made it worth it right there.
I do that every July 3rd, right before the 4th, for the idiots who want to blow their hands up at home, just for the thrill of saying, just dumbest thing in the world. But I hope it's not a dud. And not just because I love the trade deadline, I love the action that goes with it, but the Mariners kind of built themselves into a situation where they need it to not be a dud. Like, that was part of the thinking, we think, right, behind a quieter off season, and you have dry powder, and you got the report the other day that ownership wants to, open up the purse strings a little bit here at the deadline, and Jerry's got freedom, and you've built up your farm system. Like, Mariners kind of can't afford for this to be a dud.
No, and it's been their model for a long time. You've always heard them, we're holding back, or at least the word gets out that they are holding back part of the money that they have available for the trade deadline, which in normal years makes a lot of sense because you don't really know what you are until you get into a baseball season. It's nice to have that opportunity to make that pivot and to add what you really need. And if that's a bigger ad, and if you need to spend more in dollars or in prospects, to have the flexibility to do that is great. But now I think we are seeing with the wild card that just puts up so many questions for the sellers right now. And you just don't have as many aggressive sellers as you used to have. So perhaps that model needs to be looked at. Perhaps you have to make your biggest investments and you have to plan during the off season and attack during the off season. Like, this is what you're going to have. And it'll be good if you can make, something that's going to help your team, but not something you have to almost depend on at the deadline, because the deadlines have not been, on the offensive side in particular, have really not yielded much since the wild card change, other than if you're looking at a Soto and just absolute blockbuster type deal.
Shannon, after 17 years, I feel like I know you pretty well, but I don't know. Are you a risk taker? Do you like to take risks?
Physical risks, yes. I do like to do fun things like that. Any other kind of risk? No. Very conservative.
Very conservative.
Incredibly conservative. I'll jump out of a plane, but I'll have the hardest time making a decision on should I do this or should I do that elsewhere.
Are the Mariners in a place, we had this conversation, a lengthy one with Jeff yesterday, and we played a cut of it earlier in the show. Are they in a place now where maybe they need to jump out of an airplane? And maybe they need to take a risk on a credit card. Like, maybe they just need to take a step that their model, maybe has not had in play the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Well, I think, since it's not my decision to make, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
You're saying maybe that makes it a lot easier too, but that's the question I'm asking myself. I mean, the prices are astronomical. Everything that you are hearing, you keep hearing 2 top 100 prospects. And for a rental, that's absolutely ridiculous. But if you have those prospects, if you are in a year where the possibilities are in front of you, not just because of what you are, but because of what everybody else is, I think, more than ever, that is something that you have to look at. And if they wanted to take a big splash, if they wanted if they are ready, if they feel that they've built up, and the reserves that they have to do that, and it's in front of them, that's a question that has to be more seriously asked than probably ever before because of the position that they are in right now, both on the good and the bad side. They need to get to a postseason. It's beyond time to return to a postseason again. But also you put yourself in the position where maybe there are more dollars. There are definitely, you have a wealth of prospects too. So, I mean, maybe it is time to get very uncomfortable.
So, you were in a week or two ago, along with Jason Churchill, and that was really fun. And we got a lot of great feedback from that, not surprisingly, because you guys are both great. But we're now a day away. So as we sit here today, Shannon, give me the top 3 names on your list, the top 3 guys you would like to see in a Mariners uniform by 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Who are the top 3 people Shannon Drayer would like?
Well, I mean, it's hard to give names because you don't know what is really available. We've heard Suarez, and with what you are seeing from Williamson, that is the only third baseman that is available. It's not the only third baseman I would take, but that's the only third baseman that I would take. And if that is something that is impossible, then I am fine with Willie Castro in a move where he moves around quite a bit. As far as relievers go, I would love one of the relievers from the Minnesota Twins, and everything that we hear is their price tag is just off the charts right now. And if you're taking that risk, you're only doing a player. You're not giving up 4 top 100 prospects for 2 players that you're not going to have for a long time, one a rental and one possibly 1 year. And that was really interesting what Jeff Passan said yesterday about 27 is looming large over this, particularly with the players who have 2 years remaining. And you know what? I am still, bullish on another starter. And I don't know who that starter is, but I would want something in the 4 to 5 kind of slot. Somebody, like Anderson a few years ago, somebody that you need to plug into that rotation every 5th day the rest of the way, and perhaps even hope that he can carry you for a few innings in the postseason. I do think that's important for this team.
Did it change your mind at all yesterday hearing Jeff say that he thinks Bryce Miller is going to be okay and back in this soon, or is that still...
No, we don't know that. And once he's in there, we don't know for sure if that is something that if he goes out, if he has some success, if he's able to replicate that every 5th day. I mean, he is still dealing. That is still in his elbow. He is going to have to make an adjustment to be able to pitch and not have that irritating. If it works, great, but he's had 2 false starts on that already. If this were April or May, sure, but you've got no other opportunities right now to take care of that. This is it right now, and heaven forbid something happened to another starter in the rotation. You know what your depth is. It's been firmly established what your depth is if you do not make a move the final 2 months of the season. So for me, I think that's important.
Shannon, is JP okay? Is this just kind of one of those slumps that everybody goes through? 2 for his last 34?
I think he's dealing with something.
Or is he banged up in a way that, once again, we don't hear any of this until after the fact? Is something going on there with our buddy JP?
You throw in the defense as well.
Yeah.
That's taken kind of a little bit of a tick down as well. And I hadn't been thinking that, Brock, until last night when we saw, a couple of balls get by him that, he usually makes that play. So I have not seen anything. My eyes are more open and ears more open to that right now. It is later in the season. He has been remarkably healthy to start the year. For him, he plays pretty all out. He does get banged up. The last couple of years, we've seen it. So I think that is a fair question to ask and start to wonder.
What's your first impression of Josh Naylor? We had somebody text in yesterday and ask if he's the big grumper, which I think is awesome. It's like the funniest nickname I've ever heard. Like, I can't stop laughing about that. But what's the first impression? He does not like the trident. That's the only thing I've really been able to ascertain.
Yeah, we had always heard that he was really intense, that he was a little bit different. I do know that, in the clubhouse, they're pretty excited to get him, and I think the players know the personality, obviously, more than we do. I think that edge is there, but the thing that impressed me the most, and I have not talked to him yet. Yesterday was the first day I was in the clubhouse. I arrived in Sacramento during the first inning, so I had no pregame exposure. And always odd to leave the team and come back and, wow, there is a new impact player on the team that I'm going to have to go say hello to. And he is kind of grumpy, and that might take a little strategy in going and saying hello to. But, everything that we have heard from those in the clubhouse is, this is good. This is a good move for them. But the thing, and I said this on the afternoon show, that really impressed me yesterday is I went to the park yesterday at 1:30 so I could tape the Cal Raleigh show, and that's very early for an away game. And when I got to the park and got upstairs, looked down at the field, and was putting my stuff and getting my stuff together, there were two people who were on the field that were working, and it was Josh Naylor and Kevin Seitzer. They hit for a long time, just one-on-one. And, to go to a new team and say, hey, grab the hitting coach, take a look at this, take a look at that, or be open to the hitting coach saying, hey, let's go out on the field really early in 93-degree heat, let's do some work, is a great sight. But not only that, I mean, they were out there at least a half hour, which is a long time to hit, especially in that heat on the field and not in the cage, possibly longer. Afterwards, Naylor went into the clubhouse and came out with a trainer, and they set up the cones, and they had the equipment. He went out on the field, and yet there are still no other Mariners out on the field yet. Somebody might have come out and stretched a little bit, but he was hard at work, with assistance from the Mariners hours before the game, which was great to see.
The big grumper. I can't, honestly, I've been laughing about that now for almost 24 hours. It kills me. I think it's so funny. It's so perfect. And what a perfect compliment to Cal. And I like it too, by the way. To me, that's almost a compliment. He's just got, what they call the red ass, right? I mean, he just has it. And not everyone in baseball can pull that off, but he certainly has. So, all right, Shannon, thank you. Enjoy your time in Sacramento. I know it's a tremendous place to be in the summer. Is it a good thing they're playing a night game tonight? That's a place where you got to go night games in the summer.
Absolutely. Not looking forward to the 1:30 to 2 a.m. arrival tomorrow and a game and a trade deadline. But, yeah, I'll take that over the heat.
All right. Shannon, you're the best. Thank you, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Appreciate you.
You got it, guys.
All right, there you go. Shannon Drayer, our Mariners insider, of course, in Sacramento. And, tomorrow's going to be fun. I love the trade deadline.
She said she would be willing to jump out of a plane.
Yeah, she's done it, I think.
Has she
I think
really?
Shannon's jumped out of a couple planes, if I'm not mistaken.
Is this guy to my left?
Breer? I don't know whether he's a risk taker along those lines, but Albert Breer wearing his City Sports Boston shirt.
You like
today.
that?
I love it. Yes, old school.
It's defunct now.
It is?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
sad.
I don't know that. I know the ones in Boston are gone. I don't know if they're gone because they had them in New York and Philly. I think DC.
Every time I see those Red Sox yellow jerseys, the City Connects, all I think of is the old City Sports stuff.
Right.
So,
right.
Albert Breer is here in person in our studio because he's at Seahawks practice today. How you doing, man?
Went for a nice run this morning, which I like up the hill. I ran up the hill over there.
Are you staying
across
downtown?
the lake. Yeah, so I'm staying at the Astra.
Okay.
Which is not far. What's this lake right here called?
That's Lake Union.
Lake Union. Okay.
Yeah.
So I ran around it and I was like, okay, I ran back to the Space Needle and I ran up this hill that I'm still kind of a little gassed. So yeah, I can see why people here are in good shape for sure.
Yeah, that's worked very well for me, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Queen Anne? You think maybe Queen Anne?
Part of it, maybe. I don't know. You run up Queen Anne, that'll get you. That's like running up Mount Washington.
Yeah. Gosh, she looks good though.
I know.
Sun-kissed. Got a little tan.
Yeah. Well, this is my ninth camp.
Yeah. Where are we? Where was the tour taking you?
I do the I drive through the Midwest, and I really like doing it that way because I can make my own schedule, right? So I go, those are all about 3-4 hours apart. And so I flew to Detroit because they're in the Hall of Fame game, so they started early. Then flew to Minneapolis, then drove Minneapolis to Green Bay, Chicago, Indy, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Buffalo, and then flew out here. And it seems weird that you would fly from there to here, but it's all based on when teams have their days off.
Yep.
And, that can be, with the rules now, as many days off as there are, it can be kind of tricky putting the puzzle together.
We'll talk Seahawks at 9, but any common threads jump out to you as you go through all of those camps?
I mean, it's just so different the way teams do it now. I mean, from team to team, and Brock, you can, I'm sure, relate with how different it is, and I'm sure you probably think all this looks like Club Med versus what you guys used to do, and some of the older guys refuse to call it camp, but it's because they're so limited by
vacation.
But because they're so limited by the rules, every team does it a little bit differently, and you'll see some teams that are just very slow walking through and aren't really hitting the gas early. And then there are other teams where you see them doing a lot early. So, I mean, I think, who knows what works and what doesn't. I'm sure everybody correlates it to the type of season they have. But yeah, I'd say from place to place, it's pretty different. I think the other thing that's sort of interesting here, and this is something we can definitely get into with the Seahawks, is just I'm not going to say parity is dead in the NFL, but there's this. I feel like with the class of the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC, and it really stuck out to me watching Burrow in Cincinnati and Josh in Buffalo. Like the 4 quarterbacks, right? Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, Burrow. They're at such a huge edge now. And, we did this quarter century. I know a lot of people are doing these. We did this quarter century series a couple of weeks ago. And one of my assignments was I did a story on the 2000 season. Do you know who the 2 quarterbacks in the Super Bowl were that year?
2000?
Yeah, the 2000 season.
That's the Giants with Kerry Collins and the Ravens with
Very good.
Trent Dilfer.
Right. Wow. And I
Smart.
That's very good. That was really good.
Big brain. Big brain.
Didn't even have to.
I don't remember who the Seahawks played last year, but I got that one if you need it.
But yeah,
Kerry Collins was in the Super Bowl,
and they were 2 reclamation projects. Could you ever imagine that happening now?
It'd be really hard. It'd be really hard to fathom.
Maybe one of them, one team makes it and sneaks, but you just. So it's just
this is when Jim Fossil was pushing all his chips into the middle of the table. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
the Giants.
That's right.
He's like, we're going all in, pushing the chips in.
You know who his coordinators were?
No.
John Fox and Sean Payton.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good staff.
Yeah. So it was like you look at where we were then and where we are now, and it just kind of like makes you realize that because of the rules, right, and the importance of the quarterback position and the way quarterbacks are coached now and the level that it's kind of been pushed to, there really is a haves and have-nots, and in between Cincinnati and Buffalo, I go to Cleveland, and they're still being held hostage by the Deshaun Watson trade.
Mm-hmm.
If you swing and miss at that position, like the consequences are devastating.
And they didn't just swing and miss. I mean, like they corkscrewed themselves around into the ground.
Yeah.
So 2 things jump out there. Number one, I was chatting with Dane Looker last night, my old high school teammate, old New England Patriot, and he said when he got traded to New England, speaking of how different the times were, they were on their 11th straight 2-a-day in pads with Belichick.
Yeah.
And he got handed these Adidas cleats that were oversized. Like, oh, this is bad. And I got to be a gunner, and there's Lori Malloy and Ty Law. This is going to be worse. And literally, they ejected him and landed. I mean, he's just so violently physical as well. Number 2, you mentioned those 4. You know what else jumps out about those 4? In Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and Burrow?
Yeah.
Continuity.
Yeah.
They've all had the same head coach.
Right. And that becomes a chicken and egg thing,
Of course they do, because they're good. The head coach gets to keep his job.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess that wasn't really the way in Cincinnati, and maybe Burrow's the best, since he's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But the role that continuity plays and how much chaos everybody else is, constantly changing. Coordinators, coaches, coordinators, coaches, coordinators, coaches.
And it builds on itself because they're trying to catch up.
That's right.
That's
right.
Like it becomes a self-perpetuating thing. It's like I always felt like in the AFC East for all those years, it was almost like Tom Brady destabilized the other 3 teams because you could the division was out of
what
reach
Nick Saban did in the SEC,
long, and that makes it the path to getting to the playoffs more narrow because now I need to get one of the wild cards. I can't get in as a 9-win team winning my division.
Now, are you just going with the 4 AFC quarterbacks because they're all in the same conference, or are you on purpose leaving out the guy that I think is going to win the Super Bowl this year, Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, well, but that's the thing is okay, can he get to that level? That's how we would have looked at C.J. Stroud a year ago, So I think that's the thing. It's this chase to get into that group, and can you win without a guy like that? The Eagles did last year with an absolutely loaded roster. So,
and a guy who's not that far,
and a guy who's not that
right?
far off, right? But I don't think he's in that class.
No.
And I don't want anybody to clip this and disrespect. But he's not. He's just not what those guys are. Where I think the difference is, it's the same as Brady and Manning back in the day. Rodgers, it's when you go to Buffalo, it's like. They have their issues on defense and they're trying to get better on defense, but the floor is so high on offense because they have Josh, right? Even if Keon Coleman doesn't become a number 1, even if they have injuries on the offensive line, and it's just the floor is so high. Burrow, the floor is so high for Cincinnati on offense.
Did we feel this way 20 years ago when you were doing, and you weren't probably doing this as extensively? But did we have the same collective feeling well, there's Peyton, Tom, Drew, and Aaron?
I still think back then. I think
really, and everybody else is
but
just
I still
chasing?
think back then, though, Mike. The difference is, I think back then winning with the 10th best quarterback in the league was doable.
It was possible.
It was doable. Is it still?
I mean, Russell Wilson got us to 2 Super Bowls. Where was Russell Wilson in 13 and 14? He was never held. We were barking and screaming.
Those things are pretty rare, though. I mean, it happened with Russ and with Eli.
Eli, Flacco, was Flacco played cool. Flacco played great in the play, but all those 3 we just mentioned were all in a 6 or 7 year.
But if you go through, I mean, how many of those Super Bowls were either had a Manning or a Brady in it? I mean, it's like almost every one of them, or a Drew Brees or an Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like those guys were in,
right? But you had a chance, was the thing.
Yeah, maybe that's fair.
You know what I mean? You had a chance, and that to me is like, I look at the Colts and I look at the Browns, and these are teams that I just visited that have been building for a while, and I look at Chicago, and it's like so much of it is just tied up in whether or not Caleb makes it. They've got a good team. So much of it's tied up in Caleb. Same with Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota's got an unbelievable roster. But can JJ do, and there's so many teams.
So that's the perfect transition into this Seahawks roster and how good the roster is or isn't, and how good that quarterback situation is or isn't. We got about another half hour with Albert Breer. We'll come right back and spend some more time with him and try to get answers to those questions. We'll do it next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and SeattleSports.com.
Now batting for the Mariners, first baseman Josh Naylor.
The first contender to make the big move that says, we're all in.
Going and goodbye baseball. Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
You're now looking at a 1 through 6 in your lineup that's deep. It's legitimate.
Just one more day till the trade deadline. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports has you covered on 710 and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Rick Riz here, and it's the final month to submit your nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Pella's owners are donating $5,000 to 2 local youth sports organizations. Many local teams are in need of new equipment, field improvements, or uniforms. If you know a team who could use funding, nominate them at seattlesports.com/play. Join Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington and help our local youth thrive. Go to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a team in need right now.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% 10% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to give you a minute.
Doesn't work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now, here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
We got some more time here with Albert Breer, of Monday Morning Quarterback, who's in studio with us before he heads over to spend his day at Seahawks practice today. It's been a little up and down since padded practice started. I was there 2 days ago, and the defense won the day and the offense lost the day sort of at the same time. Yeah. And then yesterday, it sounds like that kind of flipped. I wasn't there, but the quarterbacks had a much better day. You talk through the importance of a good roster versus the importance of a quarterback. Where do you see the national media does not in general seem to be very high on the Seahawks team? What do you see when you look at the roster and the quarterback position and the coaching staff and all of it?
I actually think the roster is pretty decent. I think they're sort of, and I was with the Packers, and they sort of strike me as like the Packers in this way, where they've done a good job over the last few years of drafting solid players onto the roster. Now the question is, can some of those guys elevate to another level? And in Green Bay, it's, they have this group of receivers, like 5 or 6 of them, that they know can play, but can any of them be a top guy? Can Dontavian Wicks be a top guy? Can Jaden Reed be a top guy? Same thing here. I feel like, can Charles Cross looks to me like a guy who's got the potential to elevate into a top 5 left tackle. Can he become that? Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think, showed he could be a number 1 guy, like the focal point of an offense last year, but can he really elevate and become a true difference maker? Can Witherspoon be one of the best corners in football? They've got all of these guys that are at or near the end of their rookie contracts, and there are going to be big decisions to come on all of them. And a lot of that's a result, I think, of the capital they got in the Russell Wilson trade, where I think getting all of that draft capital, I think, coincided with a little bit of a bounce back in how they were drafting and developing here. And so now where does that group go? Because I think they've got a lot of guys, a lot of young guys on the roster, Kenneth Walker too, like young guys who can play. Big decisions coming on them. Can those guys elevate and find another level?
Yeah, Derek Hall, Boye Mafe. Can they go from good to great, which is such a theme across all of the NFL, seemingly every single year. But, let's get back to the quarterback conversation. Who is Sam Darnold to Burt Breer?
I think if you're the Seahawks, and I've used this comparison with you guys before, but the Alex Smith in Kansas City thing, right? Like where Alex Smith was so valuable to Andy Reid and the Chiefs because they had the first pick that year. They trade for Alex Smith. They decide we don't feel great about the quarterbacks, which, by the way, they were exactly right on. That was the E.J. Manuel. Geno went in the second round that year. And that gave them a chance to compete in the here and now. But it also created a scenario where they didn't have to force it. Like they could just wait for the right opportunity to come along, and like whenever that quarterback that they saw as really that's the guy, then we can move aggressively and go and get him. And eventually it happened. It took 4 years to get there, but eventually they saw Mahomes, and I think a different light than a lot of other people saw Mahomes, and they strike, and the rest is history. I think that's sort of what you're looking at with Sam. You had that with Geno, I think, and now you reset that to some degree with Sam, and you hope that Sam can replicate what he was able to do last year in Minnesota, because I think that player is there, and I think especially with Clint Kubiak here, you have an idea, you have a blueprint for how to have him be that guy. Can he be the type of guy who is the best player on a Super Bowl champion? I don't know about that, but I think he can absolutely be a very competent playoff quarterback that, again, can maybe give you what the Chiefs had with Alex Smith pre-Mahomes.
I'm a little curious what you'll see when you go over there and watch practice, because one of the big challenges the Seahawks have is they do not have a lot of dynamic weaponry,
right?
Especially on the outside, and that sort of leads to your question about Jackson Smith and Jigba and whether he can make that leap. And I don't necessarily think that's a problem, as long as it's a complementary piece of your offense, as long as you're running the ball and using play action and helping those less dynamic playmaking guys kind of reach a potential and do what they do well, rather than asking them to do something beyond that. If this team's in 3rd and 8 every series, I don't see how they can compete. They traded DK Metcalf and Geno Smith, and when you did that, I was really hoping that was going to lead to, okay, cool. They also went out and did what Minnesota or Chicago did on their offensive line. They didn't do that. So how do you get enough from the running game without having gone deep? I mean, Gray Zabel's a good pick, but like, is there enough there?
But the interior of their offensive line was a dumpster fire last year. We can call it what it was, right? Like,
it was a dumpster fire for a decade,
and that's why you have to. That's why you go and you take a guard where you took him. Is
that enough?
And I think a lot of it's in a weird way. I think a lot of it relates to the defense and the terms you're playing games on, right? Like, so I think you got like backs that can get it done. I think you've got, quarterback who can move. And I think if you're able to play, I think having a really good defense is going to allow you to play games on your terms, right? Like, to your point, if you're in 3rd and 8 a lot, well, sometimes that can be a function of, like, are you behind, right? Like, if you have a couple tough series to start a game, is it now is it 10-0? And if it's 10-0, do you have to play the game differently so you can't keep investing into the run game? So I think a lot of it's going to ride on the makeup of the team. And I think the one thing that you can hang your hat on here is Mike McDonald has seen that formula in Baltimore. Clint Kubiak's dad was part of that in Baltimore, and a really, really successful iteration of it where, like, John Harbaugh, when he had Gary Kubiak, like, they didn't think they would. Gary Kubiak at the time was like, I'm done being a head coach. And then the Denver opportunity came along and was too much for him to pass up. But, like, John Harbaugh thought so much of Gary Kubiak, like, this is going to be my coordinator for the next decade. And obviously it didn't work out. But we've seen, like, that offense within the context of the Ravens program. So there's a blueprint there. How quickly do you get Grace Abel up and running? What do the other two interior offensive line spots look like? Can Kenneth Walker stay? Like all of that, like I think plays into it, but the defense does too, because I think playing that type of game, it's a narrower path to victory than having a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I think this conversation just spurring a bunch of different thoughts with me. And honestly, I come back to the college game, Bert, and I think of so many programs that are not Ohio State or Alabama or Michigan with the resources. So what do we have to do? How do we disrupt it? If we don't have all that they have talent-wise and financially-wise, like, what do we have to do to disrupt? I wonder here if Mike McDonald has to be as large and significant a disruptor as any coach competing against these guys.
Right, and I think what you do...
Because that was John's belief. John didn't say, let me find the next great offensive guy. Sean McVay wanted him to. Shanahan wanted him to. He interviewed all of them. But ultimately, he's like, if I'm actually going to beat these QBs, I need a disruptor to the market.
And that's, I mean, he's coming from a place that is that. Like the Ravens have for a long time been like, okay, you're going to zig, we're going to zag. And they, I mean, at the beginning, it's not that way anymore, but at the beginning, they were more or less running like a service academy offense, you know, with Lamar. And the bet there was, okay, you're putting, you know, you're building to play against Patrick Mahomes in the AFC, and you're putting 215-pound linebackers on the field, and you're putting 190-pound safeties in the field. Yep. And you know what? We're coming right at you. Yep. And now they've got like a 260-pound robot at running back to do it, you know, in Baltimore. So I think that, you know, again, that's another thing when Mike McDonald's roots were, okay, like this is where the league is going. This is where our competition is going. We're going to go over there. And so we're going to be the most difficult team to play for everyone to play against, because what they're preparing for when they play us is totally different.
Why aren't more teams trying to emulate Baltimore? I guess they haven't won, you know, a lot of championships during that time.
Right.
But man, it sure feels like year in, year out, they're as consistent and as competitive of any team.
And their
identity.
In the game.
It's so clear.
Their identity, it's been the same for 25 years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For the most part. I mean, it's dressed up differently and there are differences, but who they are hasn't changed since Ray Lewis was a young player there, you know? So I think doing that, it's as simple as it just boils down to ownership, I think, in a lot of cases. Yeah. And it takes a commitment to do that. And it takes like hey, we have to draft this way and we have to sign players this way. And we may take a beating on shows like yours for a year or two, but once we get it up and running, it's going to work. Like, there aren't a lot of owners that have the patience and the foresight to see something like that through. It's easy to hire. You could hire somebody to do that, but it's easier just to hire hey, like, we're going to bring this guy to come and coach our quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that part of it
That's what they did in Chicago.
Right.
And it may work, by the way. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but it's a very different approach.
Right. It's a different approach.
Yeah, that's what Mike Mayock said. You know, it still strikes me. We had Mike on before the draft, and just his life experience of being on the outside and being on the inside. And, 25 teams just don't really have a chance because they don't have alignment.
Right.
That was his word again and again. Alignment, from ownership to presidency to GM to true alignment. And is there anybody better than the Ravens? I mean, the Chiefs maybe to some degree.
Right. I mean, and it's like Ozzie Newsome leaves and Eric DeCosta's ready to roll, and he's their guy, and Ozzie's still kind of there as a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs, there's no question like what they're looking for in players. So you look at like what they've done defensively, they don't get enough credit for it. You know, like that they're drafting guys like George Karlaftis and Nick Bolton and Trent McDuffie, and it's just become this player development machine where it's like we know exactly what they're looking for. Now they bring in Josh Simmons to play left tackle for them, a huge problem for them last year, and they can take that sort of risk because they're so established. Like Josh Simmons had maturity questions and injury questions coming in. If you're a bad team, you maybe can't take that chance.
Is he a Buckeye?
He's a Buckeye.
Oh,
well, I'll give you a non-Buckeye. How about?
Interesting.
But how about? But how about this? How about this, though?
Travion, is he a Buckeye? Let's see. Go through all the Buckeyes.
You better be watching G. Scott Jr. over Patriots training camp. That's all I know.
I met
his dad's right outside here.
I was talking to G. Scott Sr. about that here a second ago. But it becomes an inherent advantage. Like,
Philly's got to have some of that now too, right?
Philly? Well, that was the next example I was going to bring up was Jalen Carter. a lot of people are like, how did Jalen Carter make it to the 9th pick?
Because the Seahawks passed on him?
Because other teams couldn't bring him. You couldn't bring him in because he had the character issues were so serious with him. I mean, like he was involved in like that girl's death. And like this, so there were such serious character-ish things where it's like, if you aren't up and running, if you don't have an established program, then you can't swing on that.
So where are the Seahawks in this? Because Pete and John and I think Paul and on to Jody, I think you would have to include that from a winning standpoint in the last 15 to 20 years.
And knowing exactly what they were looking for.
In the early part of that, were they as aligned at the end of that? I don't know. I don't know if there was the same kind of alignment for the last couple of years.
Yeah, so I think it's with going from Paul Allen to Jody, obviously, I think that there was a lot of, I'd say there was just like, I don't know if you call it curiosity or discomfort, but like I know there were those questions like, is she going to be more involved? Is she going to operate differently? So like, and that's probably settled a little bit because she's been around a little while now. And I still think it's to be determined with John and Mike. You know, like let's see John get through a couple drafts of putting players on the roster. Let's see how Grace Abel looks. Eamon Wari, I think, is going to be really interesting because, you know, you've got like I mean, I think a lot of people around here would look at him and say Cam Chancellor, but for Mike McDonald, it's probably Kyle Hamilton, right? Like that's the model for what they want to do with him. So John was so dialed in on what Pete needed and what Pete wanted in players. And can you reset that? And like, I think it takes like a couple of years to really see what that looks like.
When you see him, by the way, in person, you will not think he does not look like Cam Chancellor. He is taller and leaner. I mean, no one looks like Cam Chancellor.
No, but
I mean,
Kyle Hamilton, I think.
Yeah,
right?
it's probably I've never seen him in person, but that's probably a much better comp. So it's interesting you bring up, and we're talking to Albert Breer, who's in town and in studio before he goes over to Seahawks practice later today. I could follow up on the Service Academy offense and whether or not that's something Jalen Milroe could run, but I want to stay with the alignment thing because I think we're going to talk to Mike McDonald tomorrow, so maybe we'll ask him about some of this. I wonder how challenging that was for him last year, but not up, down. I mean, he came into a situation with Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, 3 guys that are no longer here that were really the old guard. I mean, that was
dyed-in-the-wool Pete guys.
Those were Pete guys, and they learned the NFL the Pete way, and in Geno's case, maybe not, but was almost saved by him. He was saved by him.
The way Geno talks about Pete, it's like his dad.
I mean, the other 2 guys, that's all they ever knew. Geno, I mean, it's honestly like he saved him from purgatory. And
Geno was talking to Pete during the season last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. So if you're Mike McDonald, you almost have to have come in last year, I would think, and kind of like, I don't know, tried to mold yourself to work with these 3 guys who held a lot of sway, but had always done things a different way. He could be entirely freed up from that now to actually make this Mike McDonald's team instead of the Pete holdovers.
And that's always tricky, I think, for a new coach that takes over a place that isn't necessarily broken. You know, like when you come in, it can be more difficult to take over a place where they've won than if they went 2-14.
Right.
Because you're coming in and you're saying like, okay, like this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. We're going to change this. We're going to change that. If it doesn't work right away, like the players will be like, the way we did it before was working okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that can linger sometimes with certain guys, and you have to, and that can be a challenge if you are taking over a place that wasn't broken. And this place, I think you guys would agree, wasn't broken, you know? Maybe you need the change, but it wasn't broken. So I do think that there's that piece of it where you're flushing some things out. And, you know, it's like one of the reasons why, you know, you look at what Washington did last year with Dan Quinn. Almost every player that they signed in free agency had background with someone on their staff. Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler came from Dallas with DQ. Austin Eckler was with Anthony Lynn with the Chargers. I mean, you can go right on down the list. Almost every single player they signed in free agency had some sort of background. And so now, like, I think you see a little bit of that now with Sam Darnold coming over. Well, he was with Clint Kubiak in San Francisco. You need some torchbearers, you know, for your program and for what you're trying to build. And maybe they're getting closer to that now.
I'm curious. You're going to be your 9th stop, you said, or 10th?
9th, yeah.
Your 9th. one thing that has struck us, and this week we've talked to a player every single day, and all of our shows have, and the afternoon guys, midday are all out there. And the one thing almost to a man with all the interviews is the word vulnerability. Mm-hmm. There's just a transparency with the players to be so much more vulnerable. We can talk about the difference in camp style and everything else from the old days, but there's just no question the guys are so much more open and willing to talk about, especially in this program. And I'm curious in the 8 other stops, if you get that sense, is that a league-wide
like vulnerability, like being able to just speak freely about
themselves, their path, their journey, their failures, their just their.
I think part of that, Brock, like might be a result of who's coming into the league. I even thought about this. Like this is like a crazy thing that hit me watching them and thinking about like how camp looks so different. Like some of these guys, like most of the league now, probably didn't have 2-a-days at any level. Right, like they didn't have it in high school, like let alone not having it in the pros. Like it's gone everywhere now, So it's a different world, and I do think NIL kind of plays into what you're talking about, where these guys are, where maybe 10 years ago they're coming from college, and there is that coach is the king, and I can't express I'm a foot soldier.
Yep.
In this emperor's palace. Mm-hmm.
But it's weird. You would think that with more empowerment, which is what you're speaking to, that you'd be a little bit more like, but there's more transparency. And I do wonder if that is a Mike McDonald.
It might be, yeah.
I mean, that's how he operates. I mean, I think that was one of the first things that we said, finished the interview, first time, like off the air, like, whoa. This guy's pretty darn vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like with what I know.
Like, I'm not good about that yet.
What I don't know
how to do that yet.
And maybe it's maybe it's generational too, because he's younger than the three of us significantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is he really?
Oh yeah, he's
and more of them are going to be, by the way. That's about to be a theme.
Well, it was like you had McVay as like the outlier out there that was like way younger than he's like McVay I think is 5 or 6 years younger than me, but he was the outlier.
Yeah.
Now he's not the outlier anymore. It's gonna the math's not going to get better for us.
No.
Hey, circle back here today. You leave us. You're going to head down there. You're going to watch them. What are 2 or 3 things that you have to see today? The Breer
Sam's the obvious one. Okay. Like I want to watch Sam and see how he's operating. And I think, I had this. I had this when I came here before. 3 or 4 years ago, I remember walking off the field with a coach, and the coach said to me, coaching Gino has made me reevaluate how I look at quarterbacks now, and it makes me wonder how many more guys there are out here like that got highly drafted, that played before they were ready, that got broken, that went and backed up somewhere, and by the way, 4 or 5 years later, if somebody gives them a chance, then they're a different player. I'm telling that story because I can remember sitting in my office on Christmas night 2 years ago, and the Ravens were blowing the Niners out. And Sam got in that game. And I don't know why I started paying attention, because the game's over. But it was like Sam led the team right down the field to like a garbage time touchdown. And I was like, holy crap. That looks like a different player. Mm-hmm. And I circled up with the Viking, with Kevin and with Wes Phillips and some of the guys in Minnesota. I said, did I see this right? And they're like, yeah, like that was one of the main things. Like we saw that once Kyle, we saw a little bit of it in Carolina, and then once Kyle got his hands on him, all of a sudden he started playing faster. So for me, like that's a big one, is seeing him play fast and seeing whether or not like you can kind of see the rhythm to his game. Because I think like the issue with Sam when he was young, Adam Gase got him and tried to make him Peyton Manning. And Gase had his greatest success on it. That is not who he is. You have to take the mental load off. You have to get him playing fast. He's an athlete, And so like that's one thing I'm going to look for is the rhythm and speed with which he plays.
Let me jump in just because we got some breaking news while you're sitting here. Jake Glazer reporting just a moment ago, and I'm sure you'll go talk about this more when you get over there. He says continuity in Seattle. The Seahawks have given John Schneider a 4-year extension, keeping their president of football operations and GM through the 2030 draft. This will take him through at least his 20th draft with the organization.
Jeez.
How about that?
That's continuity. That's continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that surprised you at all? Something you would have expected?
So it's a 4-year extension, which means he would have been up. So he's in a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I think if they didn't match him up with Mike McDonald, so sometimes, when you hire a new coach and you've got the incumbent GM, what you'll do is you'll give the GM an extension so they have matching contracts, right? So like if it's, say you have 2 years left on your deal, the coach signs a 5-year deal, you give the
So
GM
the coach doesn't have outsized
so there's not
power.
So there's not like some sort of, so I think that this is probably just the organization waiting a year, seeing how the two of those guys work together and saying, okay, like now we'll go ahead and match them up.
So if Sam is storyline 1, is there anything even close? Is there another?
I mean, it's like I said, like the outsized importance of the quarterback is part of it. But I think like seeing the way Mike McDonald's defense, I'm really fascinated with Eamon Warry, because that safety position and the defense with the Ravens. So if you go back and Mike McDonald learned from Wink Martindale, when Wink Martindale became the coordinator with the Ravens, they rebuilt their defense. And the key guy in rebuilding their defense was Eric Weddle. And it was Eric Weddle was the heady guy who we're going to empower the players. And so the offense is doing so much to change, to give the quarterback latitude to change plays and use the whole play clock. We're going to empower. We're going to have a heady safety out there, and we're going to empower him. And that became Kyle Hamilton. So Weddle, Hamilton. And now, like, can Eamon Warry be that guy for the Seahawks? I think watching their secondary in general is going to be interesting, because that, to me, the secondary, guys like Woolen, like the secondary is the key to how good the Ravens have been the last few years. So watching those guys, I think, is going to be really big. And then, I'm interested to see with the turnover at receiver, I just, like, what does Cooper Kupp have left? The Rams were. I think the reason they didn't trade him before the trade deadline last year was because, and they had talked to some teams about it, and other teams, because of his injury history and everything else, they weren't going to be able to get more than a day 3 pick for him. And at the time, they'd won a couple games in a row, so that played into it for sure. But the other part was, that's like really bad optics. If we're trading a guy in the middle of the season who's an icon for us, who caught the game winner in the Super Bowl, let's not do it now. And then they wind up moving on from him after the year. What does he have left? Because I think he could be great for Jackson in a lot of different ways, but can he still play? And can he stay healthy? Because obviously he's a warrior and has played through so much stuff, but there is a mileage question with him.
With you as well, as you traverse the country here.
I think I counted. I think it was the Nissan Rogue.
Setup.
The Nissan Rogue that I rented from the Minneapolis airport got me 1,419 miles.
That's pretty good.
So that's pretty good.
You get Sirius XM in that thing?
I was podcasting phone calls.
Brock and Salk show.
But I will
listen
say,
to Brock and Salk all the way.
I will say, like, I sort of look forward to that part of the trip, because, like, when you have 3 kids that are 10, 8, and 5, the peace and quiet.
How's fishing camp this year?
Peace and quiet of 3 hours.
No fishing camp this year?
No, fishing camp's in 2 weeks.
Okay,
so
good.
If you guys want to set something up so we can talk during fishing camp this year.
That was good a few years ago.
Yeah, High Hook Fishing Camp in Duxbury, Mass. I believe is the week after next.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll be excited.
If you want to make that an annual thing, we can do it. I'll give you guys a call from the dock.
Oh man, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
One of the best, and love your perspective on all of this, and kind of curious to hear what you see when you get out there. So we'll try to check in with you again.
We can circle back.
At the very least,
that.
I'll text you later and kind of see what's going on.
Absolutely.
That's Albert Breer, and you can always read him at Monday Morning Quarterback, where he does just a phenomenal job keeping the legacy of that alive. Brock, I think we got to talk a little bit more here about John Schneider getting a 4-year extension. That'll need to know next on Brock and Salk.
Now batting for the Mariners, first baseman Josh Naylor.
The first contender to make the big move that says, we're all in.
Going and goodbye baseball. Josh Naylor, yes indeed.
You're now looking at a 1 through 6 in your lineup that's deep. It's legitimate.
Just one more day till the trade deadline. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports has you covered on 710 and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friend Dr. Nelson. Listen, I know you guys are so tired of hearing me talk about all my different injuries through the year, but you don't have to play pro sports to know what I'm talking about. I know that many of you woke up this morning with painful joints from arthritis, and it affects you. It makes it hard to do pretty much anything. Your quality of life is affected, and if that's the case, then please reach out to Dr. Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine over there in Kirkland. He has seen so many patients through the decades suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis, so don't let pain stop you from enjoying your life. Many have jumped aboard the regenerative medicine train lately, but not Dr. Nelson. He is the only doctor, and I can say this confidently, with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques right here in our backyard. So he's got all the tools, whether it's stem cell therapy, PRP therapy, everything else. You walk through the door, he's got answers for you. So give him a call this morning. If you're living in pain, enough. Stop it. 425-823-4000, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
If it's game day or any day, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are your MVPs for trucks and SUVs. Experience the power of choice with the Tundra at 1.99% APR for 72 months. The Tacoma leasing at $299 a month. The all-electric BZ4X with 0% APR and the RAV4 leasing at just $319 a month. Find that all-star lineup at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk. A wireless company that actually stands for something.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple of years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, breaking news just here within the last 10 minutes. Jake Glazer, Fox, reporting that
Mariners have traded for.
No, not that. The Seahawks have given John Schneider a 4-year extension. So he will be here through the 2030 draft. Through his 20th draft with the organization. That's a lot. And obviously a major vote of confidence. I understand what Albert Breer was saying, that you're sort of leveling the playing field with him and McDonald. But it's also got to be a pretty strong sense and of, hey, we appreciate and approve of what you've been doing the last 2 years.
I just come back to that word alignment over and over again. Spent some significant time up in Alaska with somebody that's been around the pro sports game for decades and decades. And it just reinforces relationship, that connective tissue, all these things we talk about all the time. And let's give a little tip of the cap, because Brady Henderson a month ago, when we talked about all these different contracts for the Seahawks and the possibilities and who could they extend, I remember him very clearly saying, keep an eye out. You hear little birdies talking about this possibility. The Jody Allen and leadership, and by the way, Jody and Burt Cold were both at practice this week, probably finalizing that deal as well. They really appreciated what Mike and John have built, right like footsteps of what Pete and John built, and that alignment matters in pro sports. And good for John, and many of the folks over there are going to be there through 2030.
Yeah. Meanwhile, yesterday at practice, pretty good day for the offense, as they needed it after a tough day the day before. So we'll see a little rubber match, I guess, between the two today, as they'll all get after it. It's been fun playing some Gray Zabel cuts today. I thought Julian Love spoke to how good that defense could be as well.
I think just, I've said it before, but the starting point, I feel like we're, the standard is high right now. The catch is completed. We all feel a certain way. And the energy and the juice, the togetherness is at a premium right now.
And I think it's important to hear his assessment of the offense isn't quite the same.
They're trying to set a standard of how they want to operate, and you can see it. It's evident. They're trying to get off the ball. The receivers are trying to block. Tight ends trying to block. So it's exciting to see. Just it's trying to develop an identity with a lot of new pieces. And so it's exciting to go against them. It's exciting to get new, fresh looks every day. And on defense, we're still trying to get after them. So it's fun to see them kind of start their process.
I don't know whether I'm reading too much into the language there, but I did think it was interesting. We have a standard. They're trying to set a standard.
That's right.
And I think that's probably accurate, which is why I read it that way.
Totally agree. Last year, and that didn't work, and that's gone. And going to have to reboot this thing and go make it work. I also really loved Burt Breer's 3 things to watch there. Sam Darnold, we all do, right? That's the easiest thing. Everybody can be on the berm, on the field, and watch quarterback because the ball's in his hand. But that defense, that secondary, if you want to be an elite defense like Baltimore has been through their years, it starts there with Julian and company. And then lastly, Cooper Kupp. We've kind of given him short shrift through a lot of this.
Yeah.
Some of it was, didn't do a ton in the OTAs, trying to protect him, but seeing how much gas left in the tank, I appreciated those 3 takeaways from Albert Breer.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mariners lose last night. Kind of a lifeless loss. Hopefully one that you just chalk off to a bad game and move on, because it just was not them at their best, and just shows, I think, some of the frustration of the up and down. That's 500 since the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of wait, and really, if you go back 6 games before that, 500 there too, right? The sweep in New York, and then the one in Detroit. So it's just waiting for something to happen, right? And I kind of thought Josh Naylor might be some of that. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for a team to kind of coalesce after that's not a full shakeup, but even just adding another bat. Just kind of waiting for that offense or something to just be a little bit more consistent.
Or you're just kind of waiting for that pitching, Luis puts together a gem, and we've seen innings of gem and starts of just gems. Or is it going to be this offense? You got a lot of traffic still, a lot of bases. putting a lot of people out there populating it, but just as I mentioned, in that 500 stretch, 5 for 44 with runners in scoring position. Opportunities galore, but just not quite able to finish the meal.
They will play the rubber match, speaking of those, tonight. Brian Wu against Jeffrey Springs. Last night, Red Sox win, Rangers lose, and Astros win. So back to 4 in the AL West, which is still not that much. And then in the wild card, they are in the 3rd spot, a game up on Texas.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And we got the trade deadline tomorrow. Man, we got a lot of news. I hope everybody...
spoiled.
Right?
Don't you just feel spoiled?
You spoiled rotten.
Goodness.
Life is just so easy. Just so spoiled.
After we went through the desert, right?
Wait, who did?
Just kind of the desert.
Who went through the desert?
What are you talking about?
Well, I was just talking in the All-Star break and stuff. You know, I was here by myself for a week.
2 days. Wham. 2 days. Wham.
Desert. 2 days is a long time in the
4th
desert.
of July after a wedding.
All right, fine.
Was
My
empty.
people did 40 years. I only did 2 days, but still, it was a long time in the desert. Regardless, trade deadline tomorrow, and looking forward to seeing what happens. I thought Shannon had it right. Like, I really hope it's not a dud. A dud trade deadline is not good for these Mariners.
No.
They really need this to be an active.
We don't need a bottle rocket.
No, they need an active
one of those
trade
big
deadline.
Exploding one with all the colors I can't see. You know, one of those nice fireworks.
Because you refuse the glasses.
We need a drone show. We need something. No, I'm colorblind, Salk. I don't know what
No,
that
the
is.
colorblind glasses.
Oh, yeah. No, those have been proven a fraud, by the way.
What?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So that's everything you need to know. We got trash takes coming up in just a couple minutes.
Wow.
You're going to wear your new hat, by the way. Yeah, you're going to wear your new trash
I do
takes
have a new
hat.
trash takes
Yeah,
hat. What do we
courtesy-
think? Are we excited?
Hold on. Courtesy of our
Carrie,
friend.
right?
Yeah, Carrie up
in
there
Alaska?
Alaska.
Yeah.
Or delusionally optimistic Mariners fans. She labels himself Carrie from Alaska. Yeah, this is pretty good. You're going to want to
Why
tune
are
in.
so
if
many
you-
Mariners fans delusional in one way or another? Either delusionally optimistic or delusionally
Because for
pessimistic.
50 years, Salk, we've been waiting for a World Series.
Yeah, wandering the
We're just
desert.
waiting to get to that promised land.
Yeah.
Where is the World Series?
It's right on the other side of that hill. Just head over that dune, and it's right there waiting for you. We'll come back, and we will go through some trash takes and then turn things over to Bump and Stacy. Tomorrow at this time, we'll be talking to Mike McDonald. Just want to make sure everybody knows that Mike McDonald will be with us tomorrow. We'll be over at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center and, chatting with him right before practice. So that should be pretty cool as well. All of our coverage of training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. We'll be back with Trash Takes next.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handled employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left. You want Chevy, go to the right. You want Mazda? Because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, ma'am, come with me. Let me show you. And then have him come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, across the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSC customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
For Riverside Roofing, beyond the national accolades, is a family company from right here in Marysville that's built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. Find them at riversideroofingllc.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Head to T-Mobile Park August 5th through 10th as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities will be packed with must-have collectible giveaways, like an exclusive Funko Pop, 2004 jersey, and a replica of his Cooperstown plaque, plus his number retirement ceremony and more. It's going to be legendary.
And there it is. He's the new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk
Weekdays 6 to 10.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, I'll put this hat on in a moment. We got a wonderful letter sent to us, to you, really. That wasn't to me, right? This was just to you? No, it was to both of us?
It was to Brock and Salk,
Oh,
sure.
okay. I never got to see it. All right. I thought it was just to you. But it comes with a new Trash Takes hat, which I'll put on in a moment. It has patches sewn into it, including Oscar. I'm showing this on YouTube if you're watching. There's, which one? This one here. There's Oscar the Grouch, right? So you can see Oscar there. But it's got others. It says Salk's Trash Hat.
It's pretty fantastic.
It really is. Stay trashy. We've got Don't be part of the problem, be the whole problem. And Not my trash, not my dumpster. Yeah, that's a raccoon.
Uh-huh.
Unhinged and feral. There's a lot of raccoon-related stuff here, so I don't know exactly why there's so many raccoon things, but I didn't follow. Don't follow me. I do stupid things. Yeah, there's a lot here.
So good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie.
All right,
Oh, it's
I'm
so
going to put
good.
this on. Let's find some trash takes.
Mm-hmm.
Get it together. Y'all look like trash. Trash takes.
It's a bunch of trash.
Oh, gosh. I thought it was trash.
On Brock and Salk.
That's a terrible take.
All right, the problem with the trash takes hat is it's sort of hard to get the headphones on around it. Okay, there we go. That kind of works. It doesn't look as good though.
You look ridiculous.
It doesn't have quite the.
No, but that's good for trash takes. I don't think it's supposed to look good.
I know, but before I had kind of a like LL Cool J thing going on, and now I don't.
LL Cool J wore bucket hats too. The king.
I know, that's what I said, but now it's not bucketing over
With
here on the left.
Headphones, I see. I thought you meant the old hat that Brock got.
No. This one's great. It's got an LL Cool J vibe. But all right, trash takes. The Trash Master is in. Who's going first today?
Well, Mora won.
Mora won?
I disagreed with Lefko, but yeah, Mora won.
you always do.
I mean, frankly, I felt offended for you. Lefko had no business being the trash
No, he's
master.
not a trash master. I can't believe you let him do it.
I didn't want to.
I don't think you should have. I'm quite frankly a little bit offended.
I didn't voice my
I think
opinion.
Lefko thought you had some personal bias in your trash take.
All right, Maura, what's your trash take this week?
Well, she won. She can pick who goes first, second, or third. Who do you want? You want
No,
to
she
go first,
let
Maura?
Lefko do it, so I'm
Oh,
season
good.
control.
Oh,
here.
okay.
Attaboy. Good.
All right. My trash take this week goes to one executive vice president of the Cowboys, Stephen Jones. He, was talking about, he was trying to reason why they wait so long to sign their guys, and it makes no sense whatsoever. This was on 105.3 The Fan.
I have a theory that maybe you guys drag out the deals to get engagement from the media.
Well,
and it's like the best $2 million you can spend having to give Dak a few more.
Well, let's just start off. We don't agree on that. We don't drag deals out. We do deals when there's an opportunity to do a deal. Certainly, no one knows what goes on internally with a particular negotiation, but sometimes agents and players aren't ready to pull the trigger till they see other cards play. What we're not going to do is go out and do something that's not responsible in terms of just in the name of getting a deal done 1 month earlier. Go do it and pay the guy another $5 million of your cap space.
They are now going to have to pay Micah Parsons about $6 million more than they would have if they just paid him at the start of free agency. So that reasoning makes absolutely no sense.
Trashy.
Trash.
Pretty trashy.
It's trash. From Stephen Jones. All right.
Who do you want to go second? You want Lyle or me?
Let's let Lyle go next.
Lyle, you got
Did
a
you get that
trash
thing
take,
rolled
or-
in the last
Do you
minute
hate
there, Lyle?
You hate umpires?
Yes, and that could be my trash take every week, but it's not this week.
That pitch down the middle in the Baltimore game really was ridiculous.
Unreal. It's trade deadline season, right? So
Yes.
I figured I'd tie it back to the trade deadline. So we're gonna go down to Houston. Dana Brown's talking about how he's getting a bunch of his Astros guys back here soon, and well, he tied it back to the trade deadline.
We've got guys coming back. We feel like these acquisitions with the guys coming back are going to be great, right? So once we start getting guys back, we'll probably get Pena back first, then we'll get Arrighetti back. At some point we'll get Jordan back, and then we're going to continue to get those guys back, and it's going to feel like a trade every time somebody comes off the IL.
I hate when GMs say stuff like this. It is such a cop-out and such an excuse to not do anything at the deadline, and you use it as a total out as an answer. I hate things like that. These guys are already on your roster. That's not an excuse to not make a trade.
But that could be posturing, right?
Right.
Well, I think that's a trash take.
Lyle doesn't believe in posturing.
No, he doesn't.
I think we've learned that over the course of the day. Lyle does not believe in posturing.
I wish I had the sound of this, but I don't. So I'm going to have to read it and
All
put
right.
my Ebenezer's on
Please do.
uncomfortably with my headphones. This from the great Skip Bayless. This is personal to me. Don't bring God into this, Skip.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. Scotty Scheffler talking about his identity not based in being a golfer. Skip Bayless says, quote, see Tiger Woods, see Michael Jordan, see Tom Brady, and on a lower level, see me. Yep. I've always been obsessed with maximizing the talent God gave me. I felt I was called by God to be the very best truth-telling commentator and writer. I could be the very best. However, I could maximize my talent God gave me. I'm going to do it. So to do so, I sacrificed having children because I saw that correctly raising children would be a huge, time-draining distraction from maximizing my talents. Shut up! So tired of that crap. The only generation that believes that children are a detriment to me and my pursuits. Don't do that, Skip. I'm pulsating right now in anger.
I kind of agree with them.
Oh, do you?
A little bit.
Oh, do you now? Are you kidding? Look at the joy that your girls.
I'm not saying they don't bring me joy.
Half
They
the
do.
radio host.
But that's not what he's saying.
You'd be half the radio host if you didn't
I
have
have a
kids.
job specifically that I think you're right. Having kids makes you more relatable, and so
Yes.
it's easier. But as a quarterback or a
Yes.
coach,
Yes.
I think
Makes
there's
you
something to
better.
be said. I don't
Makes
know
you
if that's true.
Better to have kids.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, Brock loses. That might be the best take Skip Bayless ever had.
Yeah, someone who doesn't plan on having children, I don't like the take that you're better if you have them. Shut up, Brock.
Yeah. Brock, yours the trash take.
Yeah, you know what you're not saying, Maura? I'm so gifted to be the greatest producer in the
that
history
part's
of
dumb.
mankind.
That part's dumb.
Yes, I'm choosing to be the greatest producer. No, you're not.
And Skip's take is dumb because obviously Scotty's dominating in a way that very few others have. But I
up,
do think
Skip
there is
Bayless.
something to the single-mindedness and time.
Oh, yeah.
Time on
You're the
task.
greatest gift to commentating God ever gave was Skip Bayless. Shut your mouth.
That part's funny. That part's good. I like that. And what did he say? On a smaller
Oh,
level, me.
Just shut up. Just stop.
That's the winner. I
Makes
like
me
that.
So mad.
All right, so
I
we're-
should have just stopped right there.
Yeah, at the beginning, you would have been fine, but I don't know. I think that's a pretty good take from Skip Bayless. Maura, sorry, Stephen Jones. It was a bad take. He's wrong. It's dumb. It's
They
a good
just
answer.
keep trying to convince people
I
that this
know.
method of waiting is somehow the better one, and everyone knows that it's not, and it costs them more money.
Yeah, he's easy picking.
Way to go, Lyle.
I'm going with Lyle.
Lyle does a good job of managing up in this.
Lyle's
trash
the
takes.
winner in trash
He
takes
knows
again
what
today.
moves your needle.
But I'm with him.
and
That's
his
such a
needle.
bad take.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we're getting our guys back. It's like we're making a big move at the. No, it's not. It's like you're returning to being the team you were supposed to be that you would have tried to augment if those guys were healthy. Yeah, total garbage. Right there with you, Lyle. I'm surprised nobody went with Ken Rosenthal saying that the Mariners are making Dylan Moore available. That one would have won for sure.
Darn it!
That's Trash Takes today, and thank you for the Trash Master hat. Looks pretty good. I like it. We'll be over at Seahawks tomorrow. Thank you. Hey,
Send
the
in
Trash
your
Master's
here's
here.
the thing messages.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing on the app.
Do we have enough of those?
On the APP.
Haven't looked.
All
Send
right.
them in.
Well, please do. You gotta do that on the
By
app.
the way, you look good in a baseball cap. The bucket hat is not your.
You don't think so?
jam. No.
You don't think this is for me?
No, I don't
Weird.
think so.
That's weird. I guess I'll have to return all those bucket hats that I've been buying recently.
No, not your look.
I can clean out the bucket hat closet. Maybe an actual bucket like that
You
guy
look
Buckethead.
You look like Gomer Pyle. No, what did he wear? He wore some funky little hat.
I
He
gotta
wore a
go.
bucket hat?
We're done here. Bump
All
and
right.
Stacy coming up next.
Gomer.
Mike McDonald on the show tomorrow.
Goober.
We'll see you guys over there at 6 a.m. Until then, the Hay.
Barn.
See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
I'll start with the biggest storyline. I mean, it's Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Sam. When you get into training camp, this is when you really make this thing yours. And I compared it to like religion. Like, you just got to have faith, dog. Like, that's the only way. You can feel it sometimes, depending on what you believe in. You can see it sometimes, but you don't really know. You got to have faith.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
The Davis Law Group Charity Golf Tournament heads to the Prospector Course in Suncadia on August 20th.
Proceeds benefit Life Support I-90, funding life-saving training and equipment for the first responders on call every day, covering the thousands of travelers heading over the I-90 corridor east of Snoqualmie Pass through Cle Elum and the surrounding areas. Tee times and sponsor packages are limited, so sign up today at dlggolf.com. That's dlggolf.com, because the life you save could be your own.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Heritage Mechanical and Auto Repair reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring all our kids home safely. Best wishes to the class of 2025 from the entire team at Heritage Mechanical and Auto Repair. The family-owned general plumbing experts in Suquamish, proudly serving our community since 1998.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store